Alright, I think we're live. Let me double check. I believe we are good to go. I think so. Rock in the chat, what's going on? Expedition, like it, what's up, what's up? I think we are here. Alright. Let me post this around real quick. Bam, bam, we got that. Oh, how nice. Someone started mowing their lawn as soon as I went live. Love to see that. Hawk, morning to yourself. Matt, what's going on? Kai, let's see this gameplay. We're going to get right to it. Hope you are as well, Spider. Thanks for the positivity. Alright, we got that one sent out. Let me just put this on Discord and Twitter. Wow, I really hope people cannot hear that lawnmower outside. That's incredibly poor timing. Alright, and we got that one. I think we should be good. Sweet. Switch over to here. Tuesday regular streams indeed. Yeah, if you guys missed the announcement, this is now the regular stream time every week. We're going to go back to it. You know, I'm sure there'll be one here and there that I have to miss for whatever reason, but Tuesdays are the day. That's what we're going to do. Just listening to the stream while entering some numbers in at work. Well, Dennis, thank you for doing so, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Rules. What's up, man? So the nice thing about doing this on Tuesdays is that it's a reset day. So really, I can go and, you know, we can check, obviously, all the projects reset. Do all that. The countdown vendor resets. All the vendors reset. That's what I was going to see. Is there anything I need from this? Not really. But Carl's with health. Oh, boy. I bet everyone's freaking out about that. What's up, Matthew? Thank you so much, man. Too kind, too kind. What I mainly want to check out during the stream is the first league of the season has gone live. And as I alluded to in the title, I've not played a league in probably years. I don't really care that much for time trial stuff in general. So the premise of it I don't care about. And the rewards, I just never think the backpack charms are all that enticing. This season changes that. I posted about it a little bit ago on Twitter last week. But all of them have these like cube design. And we won't know until we get the first one, but they look like they glow. We have that one. And then we have this one, which looks like it has lightning coming out of it. And we got this one, which looks like it's on fire, and there's little embers going up from the top. And then an ice one. So all four of those, I think, look really cool. And so finally, I'm going to be participating in the leagues once again, which, like I said, I literally have not done a league in years, because I just don't care about them. So that should be fun. So we'll run through these 4 missions. And then obviously we have the week 2 reset, so I'm not going to go like too hard on it, but yeah. That's the main goal, and then after that we'll jump into whatever else. We got 60 people in here already. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping in. If you also didn't see, I posted a video this morning going over the reworked reanimated event, because the first global event of the season is live. And with Project Resolve, they have gone in and reworked and buffed all of the global events except for Golden Bullet. And And so we're going to be playing with that too. And it just basically makes you OP, which I think was their goal. They wanted them all to essentially act the same as Golden Bullet. And that's basically what's gone down. I'm going to post... Appreciate it, Steve. Thanks for jumping in. I'm going to post the Vomit. What's going on? Thanks for the distraction from work. Justin, you are welcome. Thank you for being here. 70 people in here. Welcome in, folks. I'm going to post the build I'm going to be using in chat because I'm sure someone's going to ask what the build is. So that will be very conveniently available. So I'll pin that at the top. So yeah, let's just get right to it, shall we? Like I said, I haven't done a league in a long time, but they're only hard difficulty missions. I should be all right. What's my goal here? 15 minutes on American history. Let's just dive right in. Let me pin this. There we go. 80 people in here. Thank you all so much. If you have not already and you want to help support and boost the algorithm, hitting the like on the stream helps more than you know. I'd appreciate it. We're one away from 25. Oh my goodness. Fluffy to Fresh Fox, in the first 5 minutes of the stream, has joined on as a member and specifically as a Heartlander. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you, thank you. That is too kind. If you have not been a member before, you now got that really cool badge next to your name. You got some cool emojis to use on the channel here in chat. And if you join our Discord server and link your YouTube account, you can get access to the private Rogue Studios channel there. Fluffy, thank you so much for that. That is super kind. Good morning to yourself. Thank you, thank you. How crazy is that? Alexander said, I did American History Museum in 6 minutes. Well, I don't know if I'm beating that, but that's pretty crazy. Lido, thank you so much, man. How you doing? Oh, good afternoon. I almost said good morning, but good afternoon if that's where you're at. John, this is my first time watching live. Love the content, but I love Division so much, but got lost in all the armor changes. Yeah, they've definitely made a lot of changes over the years. If you ever have any questions, John, certainly feel free to ask, but thank you for joining the live. I appreciate it. Fluffy said, I've been enjoying Conflict a lot this season. Me too. I think the people who mainly still don't like it, here we go, are the people who don't care for PvP, and obviously that was going to kind of be a given. Yeah, I'm loving Conflict as well. If we have time later on, I want to do some during the stream. It'll be fun. Alright. Yeah, with Reanimated, there's just no contest. It's not a matter of... Look at how wide that cloud is, though. They're getting hit from back there. You can't even see the effect radius doesn't even visually show how far it goes. Just a heads up for everyone in here, too, during these time trials, I'm obviously going to be trying to get the fastest time for the best score. If I end up missing any of your chats or questions, feel free to resend them once I'm done with the mission, or have more time to look. Not trying to miss anyone's chats, but I think you all know that. Almost 100 people in here now. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. 2 people that are saying they just got back into Div 2. That's awesome. Go to for Div 2 news. Robert, thank you so much. I try. So it means a lot that you say that. I guess the only downside to doing Reanimated is that if they reanimate, I gotta turn around and that reduces my time, but I think we're gonna be fine. Are you excited for Division 3? Oh, you best believe I am. Any more news yet? Nothing... No, nothing officially, and I don't expect that we're going to hear anything on it probably for quite a while. The only, adjacent news there is that they've talked about how Star Wars Outlaws is coming out in 24 specifically, not even fiscal 24, but the calendar year 2024. And as soon as that happens, that is presumably when, full development will pretty much begin on Div 3. Because that's the other big title in the works at Massive. There was a report that it was supposedly going to come out in the first half of the year, but then Ubisoft's latest earnings report said they were going to announce when it would come out in May, so I doubt they would announce it, a month before release. That's a lot of, technical stuff, but anyway. Yeah, full By the end of 2024, Division 3 should be in full production, and that's very exciting. And yeah, I'm extremely excited for it. Have you tried Umbra for PvP? You know, Shade, I was trying Umbra in the last few weeks because I saw a lot of people using it, and I saw that they were ripping through stuff. I don't dislike it. It's just not quite my playstyle, and I've really tried to adapt, but being forced to go in and out of cover for the specific times, it's just not my preferred thing. Like I said, I don't hate it, and it's good. It's absolutely good. It's just not my preference. I don't want to be thinking about, you know, do I need to be in or out of cover right now? I just want to think about what do I need to do in accordance to where the enemies are. But if you can deal with the Umbra playstyle, it's certainly very good. Yeah, Reanimated's crazy. If you guys didn't see the video I put out shortly before going live, we kind of dive into the Reanimated changes. So definitely check that one out later. But yeah, they've basically just increased the damage, increased the cloud radius and everything. It's fun. Can't wait for Heartland, me too. Do you think they'll shadow drop it? I think too much has gone on at this point to really say what they're going to do. I stand by my prediction from a while ago that I think the next time we're going to hear about it will be Division Day, assuming they do win this year, which I think they will. So probably in the next like 2 months or so, we'll get an update from Red Storm, and we'll see. Is Heartland more PvP focused? From what they have said about it up until now, it's supposed to be in the extraction shooter genre, which kind of blends PvE and PvP. Sort of like the Dark Zone, sort of not. Sort of like Tarkov or DMZ, sort of not. You know, it's got its own flavor. I've got a video kind of breaking down like everything we knew about it back then. So feel free to search that up in the I got a Heartland playlist. You can check out all the details there. What are good builds to keep and ones to destroy? Well, it's kind of a broad question, right? Because it's all about what do you want to play as? What do you enjoy? I did make a like top 5 recommended builds of 2024 video at the start of January. If you search that up or you go to my build video playlist, you can find that. And that might give you an idea of what you want to go for. But I never try and like shoehorn people too far into like a certain play style, right? Because everybody likes to play the game a different way, and not everybody's trying to, you know, get the fastest clear times or whatever. It's all about having fun. So yeah, I'd say we're gonna get 15 minutes on this. That would be bad if I took an extra 10 minutes from here. Do we got 135 people? We do indeed. Thank you so much, everyone, for jumping in. I'll say it again, just so everyone hears it. I am back to doing weekly streams, so this is going to be the time every week. Tuesdays, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. CET, I believe it is. And yeah, used to do weekly streams a long while ago, and then just kind of got caught up in the schedule, but we're back to it, and I'm excited because I enjoy doing these a lot. So set those reminders. Do what you gotta do if you want to be here. I'd appreciate it. Boss is hiding behind. That works. That's funny. Yeah, the new Reanimated's crazy. The cloud too. The fact that it's hitting him there, that's almost seems unintentional. Like that's a large. That is a large radius.
Get away from me.
7 minutes? I'll take that 100%. Mission 1 down. Yeah, we do have 150 people in here. Thank you so much. Almost 60 likes as well. Thank you, folks. We're checking out the first league of Season 3, which I was saying earlier, I haven't done a league in years, because normally I don't find the rewards very enticing, but this charm, and all the ones we got coming up look really sick. They look like they have some VFX to them, a bit of a glow. So I'm excited. And we got Reanimated going. What build or weapon is that with the Poison Clouds? What guy, this is the Reanimated Global event. So if you go in your Seasons menu, you can activate it right here. How do I get the little info thing on it? So it tells you what it is right here. Basically, headshots create that explosion thing, and if you don't kill them with a headshot, then they're going to reanimate, kind of a zombie-style deal. So it can be active on any build. All right, what do we got next? I think... Okay, Jefferson Trade and Emergency Bunker. Let's do Jefferson. Shadow Gamer, what's going on? What's up, Jack? Copied your strike build with EB and holy cow, I love it. Don't do much pulse, but the build is great. You are very welcome. Glad you enjoyed it, yeah. And that's kind of what I like to do with the build videos, you know? I just show people what I use and what I like, and if it jives with them, then great. And if not, then more people, you know, put ideas out there. But I'm glad you like it. Division is back, baby. To me, it's the best looter shooter. Hell yeah. I mean, the best part about playing Division right now, and I've kind of talked about this in some recent videos, is that, at least the way I view it, Project Resolve is like step 1 of a 3-step process. 2 or 3-step process. Right now, they've... Apparently behind the scenes, we won't really see this ourselves, but they've done work to like improve the infrastructure so that it can better handle all these updates coming out. Then we know later this year they're doing the endgame redesign. Seasons are getting an overhaul, Seasons 2.0. The endgame is going to get, you know, basically rebalanced across the board with rewards and difficulty and all that. And then in early 25 we get the DLC, and by the time we get the DLC, we should basically have everything we've been hoping for a while, which is fresh content, a better structure, and a better, you know, core game. So, it's only up from here, you know?
We're under attack! Intruders in the east entrance!
Excited for future incursions, which aren't DPS checks. I think at the end of the day, it's hard to, in a game like this, it's hard to make content like that that doesn't have some form of DPS check. But, definitely, I am also quite excited if we get future incursions. I love Paradise Lost. I think it was awesome. I want to play it more, honestly. I don't do, like, weekly clears, and I kind of want to. Assuming we do get a year 7 beyond the DLC, which they've kind of confirmed, but, you know, it's not official till it's official. I think we would get, if we were to get that, I think we'll get one more incursion in that year, because my understanding is that Paradise Lost was very successful from, like, a player retention and popularity standpoint. So hopefully... And, you know, in the same way to how I think the majority of people agree that Iron Horse is a better raid than Dark Hours. If Paradise Lost is the first incursion in Div 2, you know, imagine how much of a leap they might make in quality and just popularity from the first to the second one. I think if you're comparing the two, I think Paradise Lost is a way better first incursion than Dark Hours was as a first raid. And Dark Hours is already quite good. But Paradise Lost really just hit the nail on the head in terms of mechanics and doability as a 4-man while still being difficult. It was great. I'm falling behind here. Excited to see what the future holds for your channel and the Division. Thank you, John. I am as well. I'm blessed though, whereas we've gotten as far as we have, and so far 2024 has been an amazing start. So, yeah. Phoenix, how you doing? Watching from work. Thanks for tuning in. How you doing today? No worries, Watt guy. That's what we're here for. Any questions you got, I'm happy to answer. Got the notification. Let's go, Sean. Welcome in. The notifications for these things are very finicky, so I'm glad you got it. I don't remember. Do I have enemies down here? I don't think I do.
To getting Isaac
I mean, we're gonna clear the
restored
18
locally.
minutes pretty easy.
But we have a ways to go before we can celebrate. And a missing agent to locate. Continue your sweep of the complex.
Long-time viewer here and first time on the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Is there any news about the supposed new hunter in New York? The only news is that Palle Hofstein, who is one of the more vocal Division 2 devs on Twitter and on social media, he's the art producer over at Massive, kind of the lead, one of the lead people on the team, was asked recently, or I saw he responded to someone asking, all they asked was, is the hook on the wall in New York, that new hook, is it intentional, was what they asked, and he said yes. So that doesn't necessarily confirm there's a hunter, per se. Hunter puzzle, I mean. But they said that yes, the new hook on the wall is intentional. So, take from that what you will. To me, I don't know. Like, it seems like there could be a puzzle out there. Maybe it's something else that we're going to find out. Like, it's tough, but it's definitely intriguing. Currently use your PvP build, except I use Coyotes over Catharsis. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Fluffy. It's all about making it your own. Glad you like the build. I'd struggle between, you know, I like Coyotes a ton, and it's super useful. I've just grown so accustomed to having that Catharsis heal that it's tough for me to switch off of it. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Are you going to play PvP? I want to later on, yeah. Probably once we do the League stuff. We can jump into some conflict. That'd be fun. A lot of people checked out my video yesterday, which, if you did, thank you so much. Was way bigger than I expected. But I was showing off the new reward structure for conflict, and it is super lucrative. You get a ton of stuff. XP and good rewards and all that, so. Where is this ad that's pinging me back here? Oh, it's a random RC car. Okay. I'll say again, I mentioned a moment ago because I'm kind of falling behind on chat. If I miss your question during these league runs, feel free to resend once I'm done with it. I'm not trying to miss it. I'm just trying to get my time up on the gameplay. I wish they'd released the soundtrack for Paradise Lost. Yeah, did they not do that? I'd be curious about that. I know they did for Descent, but yeah. Div 1 was amazing. It was. Fenrir sufficient. Blue core double crit is OP in PvP. Fenrir sufficient. They are going to fix, it's on the known issues board that they're going to fix the problem where efficient is granting, or I think they just said that the instant armor kits are getting specialization bonuses, so that's a big plus, because that should never have been a thing. But it should still work the same with efficient, so yeah, that's going to be a good option. Oh yeah, we're smoking through this. For just kind of like Red Dead Online. Yeah, that'd be cool. What is the League reward? I will show you right after the mission here. Opinion on the Ortiz set? I like the concept a lot. And I think it's perfectly viable in gameplay. It's actually, I've seen a few people using it in PvP this update, actually, which is kind of cool. It's fun when you see those more like, I don't know if strategic is the right word, but those builds you got to think about a little bit, you know? It's not just like status effect, point and click. You got to think about where you're putting the turret, how it's going to affect the enemies. So yeah, I like Ortiz. And we got 200 people in the stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. This is the time that we're going to be live every week from here on out. So I hope to see you all on a regular basis. Second mission done, just like that. All right, let me check what I missed. All I want in Div 3 is not only a weather-changing system, but changing seasons. Oh yeah, for sure. That'd be very cool. I think Div 3 release date will be 25 or 26. Oh, I love your optimism. I don't think we're getting Div 3 till 27 at the earliest, most likely 28, but we'll see. Did you get a collectible last week for defeating the Nemesis? I saw your comment earlier, Rule. Sorry, I forgot to answer it. I did not. It is listed on the known issues board as a bug. I believe the estimated fixed time is TU 20.2. So don't worry about doing Descent in the meantime, because that's not going to be fixed for a couple weeks here. Yeah, 200. Thank you all so much for jumping in. And if you have not already, we're at 84 likes, only 15 away, 16, from 100 likes. It helps boost the algorithm and all that stuff, so I'd appreciate you hitting it, but thank you for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. What is your opinion on the Ouroboros in PvP in general? In Conflict, I feel like it's a crutch weapon. You know, the balancing with some of that stuff has been off for a while. It's definitely, like, one of the strongest weapons, no doubt. Especially with, like, Striker. Do I wish they would tune it down? Yeah, but it is how it is, you know? At least it's not like you can use other stuff and not be completely outpaced, right? So that's the silver lining for me. Do you have any theories on Kelso and where the story is heading? Yeah, I'll get into that when we start the mission here, Phoenix. Jesse, what's going on? Jason, welcome in. Hello, folks. What other games do you play if not only Division? How do you not get burned out? Alright, we'll talk about the Div 3 release date in a second, because I see people talking about it. Is the Oro in the general loophole? It is not. It is only in the Paradise Lost Incursion. The League reward, I did say we were going to look at it, are these cool looking cubes. So this one looks like that. It's got a skull, but they all seem to glow. Like they have VFX to them. Like if we go to this future one, got lightning around it. This one's got fire. So I was saying I haven't done a league in years because I typically don't think the rewards look all that cool. I'd plan on doing every single league this season because they all look, I think these all look really cool. So that's the final reward, but you also get the full track of, you get a patch, you get the caches, all that. Okay. Most okay gamer, what's up? Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you saying that very much. I just share my thoughts, and apparently people like to hear them. 100 likes, by the way. Thank you, guys. Oh, okay. Div 3, and then story. The reason why I say I don't believe Div 3 will come until 2027 or 28 is purely logistical. Division 2, compared to standards these days for AAA development time, was made very quickly. It was made in under 3 years. From what we heard, they started concept work and like very early pre-production on it about a month after Div 1 came out, so in April 2016, and it launched in 2019. So they made Div 2 in under 3 years, which by today's standards, like I was saying, when some of these games, like look at the recent Suicide Squad that came out, or Helldivers 2, those both took like 8 and 9 years respectively. That is a long time. A long time. And some of that is due to like priority shifting over the course of development. They're changing direction, all that. I get it. Div 2 I think was pretty consistent in what they decided to do from the beginning. But even look at, you know, Massive's recent releases. Avatar started in 2017 and it only just came out at the end of 2023. So that was, you know, 6-ish years. Star Wars Outlaws looks to be one of the exceptions of the modern day trend where these development times are inflating, because they started that. Our best guess is that they started full production on Outlaws right as Warlords came out in 2020, because that's when the team shifted over. So for it to come out sometime in 24, that looks like Outlaws is going to be just over 4 years' time. And that has had a similar amount of resources. I mean, it's the same team, but a similar amount of support studios. Because, yeah, you make a good point there with Helldivers having less people. That's totally true. Outlaws, I think, is the best example we can look at, where they're using the modern tech. It's the same team, same engine, and the same support studios, and that's taken just over 4 years. So, it is my understanding, and not everyone agrees with this, so you gotta make up your own mind. I don't think that major work on Division 3 has begun, like some do, because I don't think it's gonna start until that core team is done with Outlaws. If that's the case, and they only get started this year, then I see no shot how it's any less than 3 years. If Div 2 took that long, and many, you know, kind of consider Div 2 to be a little bit rushed, I don't think the quality of the game is rushed. I just think if they had had an extra year, let's say, they could have fleshed out a lot of their concepts and made it a better product. And I don't think they want to do the same thing with Div 3. So, let's say they get full production start on Div 3 mid to, let's say, Q3 2024. Around like late summer, early fall. Then if they do exactly 3 years, which was about how long Div 2 was, then that's, you know, Q3 2027. If they want to give it a bit more time, let's say like March 2028 to fall in with the March timeline, then that's kind of where my head is at. I think it's going to start full production later this year, and I think they're going to aim for March 2028 to give it that like 3.5-year range, because they know how to make these types of games now. It's their third one. They can do it very well. But I just think they're going to want to try and make it that best experience at launch that they can. And, you know, game development time is only going up. There's, I guess you could say, like, AI processes and things are shortening development time. Anyway, a lot of this is pure guesswork. Do understand that. I'm not speaking at this with any kind of knowledge on the subject. I'm not a game dev. That's just that's my guess. March 2028 is probably the most realistic time, assuming full production does not begin until Outlaws releases. So that was a very long-winded answer. I hope someone appreciated that. Otherwise, I've just been rambling for nothing. And as far as Div 2, you know, basically Div 2 is being worked on by a whole other team now. It's led by a few people at Massive, but the bulk of the workforce comes from these teams that they've established at Ubisoft Bucharest and Ubisoft Shanghai. So I think that the core team at Massive will be working on Div 3, and I think that there will be content for Div 2 basically up until Div 3 is ready from that secondary team. Because they even said, and I showed this in a video, that they said that Resolve sets the foundation for Division 2 in Year 6 and beyond. Year 6 ends with the DLC next year. And so if they're saying and beyond, then yeah, that pretty much says that there's going to be more content. Again, it's not official till it's official, until they say, hey, there's a Year 7, but I think their plan is to keep Div 2 going with this secondary team until Div 3 is ready. And then what would be very cool, this is like very crackpot speculation here. What would be very cool is if they pulled the Destiny model, where what they basically did in some of their first years of post-launch was they had 2 teams that did alternating expansions. So let's say you have an A team and a B team. A team works on this expansion for 2 years and puts it out. And then while they're doing it, B team works on another expansion, and they're the year between. So they leapfrogged over each other to be able to put out those big expansions every year. And imagine if once Div 3 is out, the team that's on Division 2 now becomes like the B team, and they work on an expansion and put it out 1 year after Div 3 releases. And then the A team that made Div 3 core is the other team that puts out, that's then working on an expansion for 2 years, and they put it out. And what if we got that yearly expansion release cycle? That would be pretty sweet. Again, that's like totally Dreamscape way in the future type of stuff, but that's where my head is at. That's one of my biggest hopes for Div 3 is that they just go into it with a big post-launch plan from the start. If they had committed to Div 2 from the beginning and had a plan after Warlords, you know, that would have been sweet. But we are where we are, and I won't complain because we're still getting more Div, and a lot of franchises can't say the same. So I'm glad about that. All right, I missed a crap ton of messages going over all of that. So once again, feel free to resend anything that I miss. I apologize. What do I put out the fires? Where's the fires? Why is it so hard to get system corruption pieces? Because they only drop in the Dark Zone. It's a Dark Zone exclusive gear set. Oh, I kind of want this chest. But do we get a Div 2 expansion right now until 3? Well, it's confirmed that we're getting a DLC. They've labeled it a DLC, not an expansion. Where we're going to Brooklyn, New York, and that comes out in early 2025. And so I think, you know, like I said, I think we're getting more content after that because they've pretty much said as much. But yeah. Jack, I have the build linked to the top of the chat. You can click the link and get all the pieces in the breakdown there. Best primary for a striker build? I mean, as an Eagle Bearer enthusiast, I will say the Eagle Bearer. But you can perfectly well slot in any good AR. The F2000 is really good this patch. If you have the Shield Splinterer, that's like one of the best high-end options right now. But you can also use a FAMAS, Honey Badger, plenty of good options. The League reward, I will show it off right after this mission, just to make sure I hit the time target. terrible idea. This is what got Destiny 2 in trouble. The devs are on record and saying they encourage their game devs to not over-deliver. I'm familiar with what you're referencing, and I don't know if I would fully agree that it's the same scenario.
But I don't think they're gonna stop coming after me. I don't know what I did to make them so mad.
I mean, it's all down to what you're telling your developers to do, right? Who's to say that Ubisoft would necessarily follow the same trend where they're afraid to try things just to stay in a pattern? It could be that way, and I get why you'd be skeptical there. But I also think in some ways they were talking about that with their seasonal model, right? I don't know if that was specifically in relation to expansions. I'd have to go and look. But I don't know. You know, there's some people who don't want Div 3 to be a looter shooter at all. They'd rather it just be a single-player, one-and-done kind of game. I don't want that personally, because I love looter shooters. But it's all down to, you know, what you want from the experience. DLC means new zone. All we know for sure about the DLC is that they said there's going to be new open world zones, plural, and new main missions. So assumedly it will be pretty similar to what Warlords of New York was, except they've said it's going to be a bit smaller than Warlords. So I think we'll get like maybe 3 open world zones instead of 4, and maybe 4 main missions instead of 5. That's kind of my guess. And they will be in Brooklyn. It'll be an all new deal. The early expansion model led to bad releases such as Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, and Lightfall. I would argue that Shadowkeep partly came from the problem of when they split with Activision, they lost a ton of resources, right? It's all about how much support you put behind the project. They could put 5,000 developers on Div 3 and have each yearly DLC feel like a new game, right? Or they could do kind of what they did with Div 2 after Warlords and start siphoning developers, and then we get stuff like Codename Nightmare being canceled. So I think it's all about how you support the project behind the scenes and what the intention is. I don't think it's guaranteed how the outcome's going to be just because of what another game did. But I understand your skepticism, totally. Got a Picaros with explosive resistance, all in. Pull out my pistol.
If you hadn't have shown up when you did, I'll head back as soon as.
Seeing how the story's evolving and noticing everyone's talking about time passing, do you think the DLC could be winter themed? Luca, that has been my theory for a while. I have nothing to back it up on. But yes, ever since Season 9, they have talked a lot about how winter is coming, and if we look at the timeline, which I will do right after I hit this, if you look at the Legacy Manhunts, Season 2, which we just finished, took place on October 18th. So we are pushing winter time. We've got this season, and then we've got 2 more, Year 6, Season 1 and 2, before we get to the DLC. So I think they could make the new Brooklyn zone be in winter. I don't think that would translate to the rest of the game, which I know a lot of people would want, but that would be a lot more work for them to take on. And it would kind of be odd to go from like summertime DC over to winter Brooklyn. But I would rather they do it than not do it at all, right? So that's my theory. We'll see what happens. The League reward people were asking is this, and so what I was saying is that I haven't done a League in years because I always think the backpack charms and the rewards never look that cool. All of the ones this season I plan on going for because they have these cool VFX to them. This one's got lightning coming out of it. This one's got fire going up with those embers there. This one's got ice. And this one's less, the current one is less elemental, but it's got like a glow and this cool skull design in there. So I'm quite excited to hunt it down. We almost have upwards of 300 people in the stream right now. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Tuesday. Have you tried the new Mosquito pistol? I tried it on the PTS. I have not done it in the live game yet. At some point I'll probably make an Aegis build. I think we just finished a project too, because I just got a bunch of rewards, yeah. Full shade level optimization cache. The project rework is fun. Ooh, a little clutch build for Walker and Harris. I'm gonna keep that. I try a little health clutch setup. Okay, so we got those done, which I think means we're on to Liberty Island. Yeah. Which is more exciting. So then we get to fight Keener in 18 minutes. So this one's going to be a bit more intense. I think on challenging, though, I should just be able to take my regular build in and go shoot him, right? I guess we'll see. All right, like I said before, if I missed anything during that run, I was talking a lot, and there was a lot of chats. Feel free to resend. You guys still boot up Div 1? I do. There's a weekly Throwback Thursday event for Last Stand that people on Xbox go and populate the Last Stand mode, so I play that as often as I can, because I love that, and I love Div 1. I didn't know there was 4 more seasons before the DLC. Yeah, so Tank, originally, the DLC was coming next season. It was going to be the end of Year 5. They announced back in December, and I have a video going over the new timeline. How it's going to work now is we have this season, then we're switching to Year 6. So Year 6 Season 1 should be around June. Then we have Year 6 Season 2 in the fall, and that's bringing us Seasons 2.0 in the endgame redesign that was originally coming alongside the DLC. Now they're splitting them into 2 releases, so we get that first part in the fall. And then Year 6 Season 3 will bring the DLC, and that should be around early 2025. So after this season, we have 2 more seasons, then the DLC. Lolix, thank you so much. Very sweet of you to say. Hope you're having an awesome day. The tinkering menu's a godsend. Yeah, it's very fun. I've started PvPing a lot more this season, having a ton of fun with some builds. Nice. Nice, Dean. I'm super glad you're enjoying. Anytime I hear someone say they try out PvP and they enjoy it, I have to smile. Because it gets so much hate. And I get it. Not everyone's going to be into PvP, but makes me happy.
Hostile control point identified.
I'm just catching up on this before we jump into this mission. What about new raids or incursions in Year 6? For the most part, I think we have our Year 6 content mapped out. Year 6 Season 1, I think, is going to be kind of like a repeat Season 11, where there's not really much content. There's kind of some quality of life changes and stuff. So the next 6 months are going to be the driest out of the next, like, year and a half, let's say. Because then Year 6 Season 2, we're getting the endgame redesign in Seasons 2.0. We're getting a new item type to grind for. All the changes that are coming with that, the new seasonal structure. So that comes later this year, and then the DLC is with Season 3. So that's kind of the full content for Year 6. I think in Year 7 is when we'll probably get a new incursion, should they do a Year 7. I don't think we're ever going to see any more raids for Division personally, at least in Div 2, maybe in Div 3, but I don't think raids, at the end of the day, warranted enough popularity for them to continue with it when we have something like Incursions that is so similar, but I think way more popular and accessible. Thoughts on the Div 1 Brooklyn, New York map repurposed for the expansion? I do think it's likely that that will be a small portion of the total map. That won't be the entire map. That's what some people have tried to say. I think it's likely that we'll probably see that little slice included in there just for nostalgia. No problem, Jack. You're very welcome. Yeah, Greg, we were talking about the backpack trophies. I was saying that I haven't done a league personally in years, like probably since season or year 2. I haven't done a league because I just usually think the rewards do not look that cool or are that enticing at all. But the ones this time, I plan on doing all the leagues this season because I think all those backpack charms look sick. They have some like VFX to them. Yeah, I agree, Fluffy. And it's just like the amount of work that goes into a raid for the amount of people that ended up playing it, I don't think lined up. I don't think if you look at it logistically, it made sense for them to do more raids compared to incursions, right? Okay, let me read Tank's comment before we jump in. What do you think we get next season from a gameplay changes content perspective, seeing as how they push back a bit? Like I was saying, I think it'll be kind of like a repeat Season 11, where there's no like big new premiere content thing. They could always surprise us, but that's probably something they would have put on the roadmap. I think we'll get, you know, maybe something akin to the tinkering system this update. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if we get another like little rework to some core system that makes the game better. Probably some more quality of life and balancing. But for the most part, I don't think it's going to be a huge update.
Ideally, the barrier I'm currently on.
Oh, the dog was getting hit by the cloud. Which makes it suck a bit more that we don't have something like Heartland or Resurgence coming out to fill the gap. Because that would have been pretty perfect if we had one of those to fill in this gap before Season 2. But, you know. One day, all of these things will be out, and we'll look back on the time in between. Maybe not fondly, but, you know. It'll get here eventually. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh yeah, definitely don't take my comments for saying that I don't like the raids. I love the raids. Back in like year 1, I was saying that raids I think were the best thing that Div 2 did over the first game. I think they're awesome. But I just think when you look at Division 2's player base, I just don't think the type of people that play this game caters enough to the type of audience that raids really call for. That's not to say there aren't hardcore people in the community. I'm probably one of them, right? But I just don't think there's enough people like myself or like that do the raids regularly to really warrant the amount of work that goes into making them. Like I said, compared to something like Incursions, which gives you a similar feeling, it's a similar type of content, but you end up seeing way more people partake in those types of activities, which therefore I think warrants the development time and resources that go into making them. And so I hope they just kind of, you know, expand the Incursion idea, really. Make more of them, give them the different themes, different objectives, different preferences towards what build types you need. I think that'd be cool.
You have to disable those explosives.
Let's be honest, who's going to play Division on phone? I will. I'm not going to main it over Div 1 or 2 or anything, but I'm quite enticed by the idea of playing some PvP, some Div PvP on my phone. But I think mostly the Resurgence's biggest boon for the community is just the fact that it's a great opportunity to get the Division franchise into the hands of way more people than who would have ever played it before. If it strengthens the overall brand, I think that's a win, you know? And the fact that it's actually an authentic recreation of what Division is, like it's not some weird, like, actual mobile style game, but it's legitimately Division on your phone. I think that's its biggest benefit. What's up, Malsat? How you doing? I was gonna dive into the Descent stuff on this stream and check it out today, but then I realized that the League had started, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want those. I kind of want to get them charms because they look very cool. Lucy, cheers from Brazil. Love watching your content, Rogue. Thank you so much. And from Brazil, that is long ways away from where I'm at. Thank you for tuning in. Venom coming in with the, I don't know the conversion from Canadian, but $27.99 super chat. Thank you so much. That is too generous. I saw your video on the conflict changes, and I had an idea on the replacement on the turrets. Why not put the Conley jammers, the same jammers that shock and EMP? It's a good question. Once again, thank you so much for the generosity. That's really too kind. The whole spawning problem. Someone actually gave a similar suggestion on the video comment yesterday, saying that they could put in the Eclipse virus in the spawn areas that only damage the opposing team, so that if you went in there, you just couldn't go in there basically. The problem is I don't think the issue comes down to a matter of locking them out from a space. Because what I think would end up happening if they put in those Conley turrets, or jammers rather, is that it would just create the same effect where the opposing team just camps on the very edge of wherever they're safe. You know what I mean? And then yes, it does give the defending team a bit more room to breathe. But it's like, does that really fix the problem of where they're still holding them to a certain area of the map, and unless they you know. So I don't think it's a bad idea. I think that probably would help because it's, like you said, it forces them into cover and all that. But I think the fundamental solution, I think the fundamental problem comes in the map design and how they design those spawns. The fact that they're just these big closets on the end of each map was probably not a smart way to go. And I think the more fundamental solution that is probably needed is a new spawn system in which you can spawn at different areas around the map besides just that one area. Is that going to happen? Probably not, because that would take way more work. But yeah, but a good idea. And I do think that would be interesting where if it forced people into cover. You know what I mean? Yeah, again, Venom, thank you so much for the donation. That's truly too kind of you. Thank you, thank you.
It's gotta be him.
Welcome to Liberty Island, agents.
Folks, we have almost 300 people watching. Thank you so much for tuning into this first return to weekly streams.
Tapped into our comms.
And we're almost at 150 likes, so if you haven't hit it yet and you want to support, it helps boost the algorithm and a bunch of good stuff, so I would appreciate it, but thank you for giving me your time. Your time and your eyes and your ears, that's all I can ask for.
The Black Tusk haven't arrived in New York by coincidence. They're here to get Keener. But why?
Is this a headshot challenge? So we're running the League, which is a time trial, but coincidentally, the reanimated global event is live, which deals with headshots. So basically, you deal more damage with headshots, and if you don't kill an enemy with a headshot, then they come back as a zombie, basically, to reanimate. But there's a lot of headshot-related bonuses that you get during the whole deal.
We've spotted division on the island, but we're all set over here to receive the package. Deploy the Razorback.
System malfunctioning.
Moderator Nova in the chat. What's up, man? Good morning to ya.
The Razorback is ready to go, sir. Initiated. We need to disable the Razorback, but it will...
About the pestilence, it is bugged. Off the top of my head, I can't recall what the thing is, but it's something with the stacks and the damage. I'm pretty sure they're aware and they should be working on it. I just don't use the pestilence that much, and so it was not something I picked up on right away, but I saw a lot of comments of people who I guess are regular pestilence users saying that, yeah, it ain't working right. Oh, the clouds are perfect for the drones because it just takes them out. Gotta go to the backside.
Reinforcements are on their way.
No, give me the cloud. Alright, got that.
Detected. Razorback terminal detected.
Gotta go over here.
Reinforcements.
Alright. Wow, they bring back the Horde mode from Div 1. That was so much fun. I liked Resistance. I do wish it had a slightly different setup. I thought it seemed a little too optional to move to the different areas. I kind of wish there was more of a linear progression through that. You know what I mean? But it was fun. So it'd be cool to see them expand upon that idea in the future. I very much hope they continue the countdown idea on in future iterations. I think countdown as a general mode and concept is really, at its core, it's just very fun and replayable. So I hope we have a similar experience in Div 3.
Razorback is offline. That's just fucking great. Impressive work, Agent. I can see why they trusted you to carry out this op. You should go
Oh,
by the
Keener,
rules,
you just
so
had to
now
go and
our
die, didn't you?
Personal conversation. The front entrance is inaccessible at the moment, but there's a service entrance around the back.
Odds on Kelso being a hunter? In my heart, there is a 0% chance that she is anything but on our side. That's, of course, the hook for the season. They want you to think that she's bad, but I think that once we catch up to her, we're going to be allies again. I could be wrong,
Deploy the Marauder.
but
Our last one, sir.
I've got full faith in Kelso personally. Or did he? That's the question, Hawk.
Quadcopter detected.
Can I even damage this thing yet? There's no health bar.
System curtailed.
Sir, we've lost control of the Marauder.
Look at the ads die. While I do that.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, that one didn't die fully.
System restored.
World record quadcopter kill.
Sir, the Warhounds. They've been hacked.
Do something about it then.
We've tried, sir.
This is, I think, actually going to play into this season a bit, is why were the Black Tusks so adamantly coming after Keener? I still don't think we have an answer to that, and I think what they're going to say is that he knew something of Callan and Nat's plan, and that was part of his motivation. That's my theory. Here we go. We soared past 150 likes. Thank you all so much. And thank you for nearly 300 of you still hanging out. I'd be so brokenhearted if she was a hunter. Yeah, I don't think so. Could be the reason he wanted to send the virus to New York. That's what I'm saying. Or, who's to say that Midtown was really his target? Or if it is, then what do they have built there that is related to the Black Tusk? That's the question. What was he truly aiming the missile at? I probably shouldn't be getting these chests. I only have a little under 6 minutes to go. Is that even necessary to get that? I don't know.
You know what I'm kidding.
Go on. Just a little further.
This part, I think, eats up a bunch of your time because you just have to sit here. Do you think the AI rogue agents need a buff? They feel like they haven't been the same training for since they dropped normal loot. Well, part of the problem is the reason they're dropping normal loot is because they're spawning at normal difficulty, like their health and armor and all that. It was an issue last season. I think it's back on the known issues board now, so I don't know what the current status is, but that's been a big part of the problem, is that they're spawning at a lower difficulty than is intended.
Don't ever happen. That's a different.
I don't know if their AI is necessarily the problem. I think it just kind of speaks to the same power creep issue that we've been talking about a lot, with expertise and all these crazy builds, Striker and Ouroboros. Like, we've just gotten so much power that the enemies haven't really kept up with, that the overall experience just starts to feel a bit easier. But, as I was made well aware on that video, which I knew, but people thought I didn't, not everyone feels the same way. There's plenty of people who still struggle with even, like, harder challenging difficulty. So, there's a wide range of skill levels and preferences in Div 2, and I think it's great that it offers so many varieties of difficulties for that. But I think it's just that higher end stuff is starting to flatten out a bit.
Incoming backup request. Rogue airburst seeker mine detected.
What's up, Powerbomb? How you doing?
What's your objective, Agent?
Happy Tuesday.
What are you doing here? Do you really trust the people you work for? Do you even trust yourself? Who can you trust?
Hostile airburst seeker mine detected.
I don't even know. There we go. Come on, put me past, coach. I just want to get to the end. Powerbomb in the house. Yes, they did change floor 100 of the summit. That was actually another thing that I thought about trying to do on stream, but I don't think I'm anywhere near 100. If anyone didn't see, they made it so you have to go in the room with the hunters now. Which, to me, it was like, that seemed like how it probably should have been from the beginning, but it is, especially when there's like 4 hunters, that does make it pretty difficult. Or 5.
System
Given how lethal they are.
System
So,
back online.
at some point, I do intend to try it. Hey, King, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm starting new weekly stream time that it's impossible to fit everybody's
You gotta do
schedules
whatever
and
you
preferences
can to
in,
prevent
but
the launch
this
of that
aligns pretty well
installation.
with the game doing
And once
stuff,
you've
and
done
so
that,
hopefully
do
that
me
as
a
well.
favor and kick Keener's ass.
Where's the,
Initial launch sequence.
are we missing a launcher?
Unknown biological compound detected.
Hello?
Guessed it. There's an Eclipse payload on that missile.
Uh,
Imagine that.
Guys, where do I shoot at? Can I still target the weak point?
Rogue assault turret detected.
Is this new? Oh, there it is. All right, we're good.
Assault turret detected.
Nope, it's gone again.
Rogue sniper turret detected.
Wait,
You're such a waste of skill.
is it
and
camera based?
You could have done wonders, Agent. It's tragic.
That's
I
very
don't
odd.
think you understand.
Okay, at least it's
I'm
there
not
now.
doing this for me. I'm doing it for everyone. All I ask is for you to open your mind.
As long as I can see it to shoot the weak point, that's all I need.
Hostile striker drone detected. Hostile sniper turret detected. Rogue incinerator.
This payload will.
What do we got? Just over a minute? Oh, this is gonna be close. Depends on how quick I can melt Keener.
We share that common
If he
goal.
pops one of those defender
I'm
drones.
just expediting the process.
Hostile incinerator turret detected.
You can shoot it if you find the weak point.
Rogue stinger hive detected.
I think it's, is this one up there? I have to like run around, I don't
Stinger
remember.
hive detected.
Ah! I only have 30 seconds, I don't think I'm getting it. Dude, come on. Where was I before? It spawned when I was up here. No! Okay, there we go. Alright, we're not getting the top time, but that's okay. I can live with that one little mark.
You have no idea what you have just done.
That was pretty funny.
Entering contaminated.
Is that a new thing, or has that been here for a while? I have not done this mission in probably over a year at least. Alright, let's go.
Rogue defender drone detected.
I thought you were supposed to be a challenge.
Hostile defender drone.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be easy. Wait, what if I hit the head on reanimated? Oh, he's one shot. There we go. I was so close. If it hadn't glitched out like that, I probably could have gotten the top time, but oh well. Have I never gotten this? Alright.
Contaminated area.
GG's, people.
Leaving contaminated area.
Oh yeah, I mean that's at least I knew pretty confidently that there were still going to be bugs after resolve. The problem I think is that they said there were so many bug fixes, but then they didn't list them, and so for us I think it's a lot of stuff that at least it's tough for us to like feel the impact if we don't know what they were, if that makes sense. Cuz like, you know, you still have the appearance thing, you still have the loot preference, like this one will reset almost every time you log on. And so, like, I believe them that they fixed a lot of stuff, but it's probably just a lot of, like, small stuff that was either impacting a low number of people or just stuff you would barely notice, but it's still bugged, so. You know. Alright, we got that done. And frickin' Hunter279 coming in with the $13.99 super chat. Thank you so much. You think Sokolova is crazy enough to launch a nuke at DC? Oh, absolutely. I mean, she said as much, or that's pretty much what's been implied, is that she wants the nukes to nuke the world so that her and the cronies can go down in a bunker and wait it out and come back, come back up afterwards. That's what I think. Do you have a fire rate buff on your Eagle? I'm using Striker, and they buffed its rate of fire with this update, so it's now at 800 base. It goes up to 920 with this. But Hunter, thank you so much for that donation, man. Incredibly kind of you. And it says, first super on a live stream. So thank you so much for supporting what I do. It truly means a lot. Still holding at almost 300 people in the stream. Thank you to all so much for hanging out. I wasn't sure what the audience was going to be like on these launch day weekly streams, but I'm blown away by everyone being here. So, we've done all the league activities now, and we're just an hour into the stream. That gives us a lot more time to do something. Let's go back to New York for now. Can't do it there. It is kind of fun to do a league again, though, given I haven't done one in years. Feels pretty fresh. Best fix, though? Yeah, the blind thing, to my knowledge, someone, I think, misconstrued what I was saying before, but to my knowledge, it was an intended change that they just didn't list, because it's mostly for, like, accessibility purposes, which is great. Let's add more of that in. I do kind of wish there was a setting where you could choose if you wanted it to be the original blind thing or the new one, because I personally feel like I was able to track targets a little bit better on the old one than now. But it's fine. It's cool, and if it helps people enjoy the game more, then that's great. You're the vibe? Aw, avidly, thank you. If that's the case, if that's why people tune in, then that's the dream come true right there. Capacitor gang represent. Yeah, I know. It's Capacitor's on top right now with that change. You're on a lurk. No worries, Watt Guy. Thank you for being here, regardless of if you're chatting or not. Shadowfax. I'm not even sure what currency that is, but coming in with the super chat. Again, thank you so much. Y'all are truly too generous. Didn't even leave a message. Just wanted to support. Shadow, can't thank you enough for that. Thank you for your generosity, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You prefer the EB over the Bighorn? All day, every day, King. EB is my favorite gun in Div 2. I might even go so far as to say, I will not say this definitively, but it has crossed my mind before that it might be my favorite weapon in the Division franchise, period. I love the EB more than words can describe. Okay, someone asked what the League missions were. I can pull those up. But yeah, again, Shadow, thank you for the kindness, my friend. Can't say that enough. What's my favorite LMG? Used to be the Stoner, for no particular reason. I just kind of liked the uniqueness of it. Probably the MG5 if I want like a reliable one. Oh, the chat is popping off. If you were a developer at Massive, what would you do to make D2 better? Oh, man. Honestly, and I say this completely seriously, I'm not just trying to like dodge the question, probably what they're doing right now. If I had the same constraints that they had of the number of people and the budget and all that, what they're doing right now to revitalize the end, or what they're working towards later this year and revitalizing the end game and providing more structure to the experience, that's what I like in a looter shooter. I like structure. I like regulation on difficulty and all that stuff. So the direction they're heading in is probably the same direction that I would choose to go. Of course, I would like to see more PvP stuff because that's what I play the most. But that's more of a personal thing. Alan, nobody has figured it out yet, but we did kind of get confirmation the other day from a developer that it is intended to be there. So it's a big question of what is the intention? Why is it there? Any tips to level up my watch fast? Yes, I am going to make an updated XP farming guide next week for the apparel event. But the long story short is public executions in the open world. If you're able to do that on the highest difficult or at as high a difficulty as you're comfortable with as many directives as you're comfortable with, that's typically going to be your best bet, Civil. Or if you enjoy PvP, Conflict is super good this update. You get a ton of XP in there.
By hostiles.
So yeah.
Safe area detected.
Is your DZ build that you made a video on a couple months ago good for Conflict, or do you recommend something else? Pac-Man, if you give me about 3 to 4 days, I'm going to have an updated build out for Conflict for this update. So hang tight. A lot of people have been asking. I'm working on it. I want to make sure I tested things all the way. That build will still be good, but I do have a slightly updated one for the changes that should be better. St. Elmo's is still good? Absolutely. Yes, it is. Are you Xbox or PC with controller? I play on Xbox with a controller. Any news on the global events for Div 1? I've not seen anything other than their previous statement of they're investigating, but no word yet. Love from Ireland. Coz. Hope I'm saying that right. Love right back at you. Thank you so much. From Ireland. I'd love to visit Ireland someday. Seems like a really cool place. Over 300 people in the stream. And hey, we're 1 like away from 200 likes. And on that note, frickin' Rodrigo coming in with the $5 super chat. Hope we could play someday together on Xbox. Keep it up. Rodrigo, thank you so much. Also a first-time donator on a live stream. Incredibly kind and generous of you, my friend. And everybody else. Honestly, it's hard to believe that anyone would feel compelled to support in that way, but I hope you know that I truly appreciate that. That helps me keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you so much. That is a huge thing. Everybody always asks to play together, and if I had infinite time in the world, I would. I feel really bad ever having to decline people. It's not a never say never, and I do group up with people on stream sometimes. But I run a busy schedule, and sometimes, I gotta decompress and whatnot. But yes, in the future, I hope we get to play together. That would be awesome. But thank you so much for the support, Rodrigo. That's very kind of you. Do you perhaps have a Conflict build? Yeah, so that one's coming out soon. I do also have... this is the one that I used for a long time, and this is still just as good this update. Nothing changed, so this one you're seeing on screen will work very well. That's what I've used for a long time. Any tips for skill expertise leveling apart from using them? Well, you can do the Wony second character strat. That's what a lot of people like to do. I personally don't, because I think it's incredibly tedious and boring. But if you want to search up the Wony character leveling thing on YouTube, there's a ton of guides out there for it. What I personally do for leveling stuff up, or when I needed to for expertise, was to be using the item, of course, then do countdown. And if you target gear mods or skill mods, either one, and you basically just deconstruct all of them that you get, that material that you get, the printer filament, has basically the best donation ratio within the expertise system. If it'll pull it up. Oh, that one's already done. There we go. These ones down here have a really good donation ratio, and if you delete mods, that's how you get them. So that doing countdown with the item on and then just farming these was my preferred way to go. Thoughts on the reanimated rework? Love it. I put a video out on it just before going live, and it's a lot of fun. The damage ramp up is crazy. So, yeah. Venom coming in again. With the $13.99 super chat. You're crazy, dude. Off-topic question. Since you're an Xbox fan, what are your thoughts on Xbox exclusive games going multi-plat? I'm not a console warrior kind of person. I don't care that much. I wish everything could be played everywhere. I would love to play Last of Us. That looks super fun, but I'm not going to drop $500 for a PlayStation. I could get on the first one PC now, I guess. My understanding from what I've seen is that a lot of those rumors weren't actually fully legit. They're doing like an official conference in 2 days, I think, talking about it. I don't know. That's really, at the end of the day, I don't care that much. Like I said, I wish more things were available in more places. I have a feeling even if Xbox does go that way, Sony will not reciprocate. So that sucks. But, yeah. Those are my general thoughts. But, Venom, you're too kind, man. That's too generous. Thank you so much for for donating again. There's a New York Hunter. We can go take a look at that. in case people don't know what it is, get more eyes on the investigation. And then we'll jump into something, maybe conflict, or I don't know.
Automated
Ooh,
external
what am I
defibrillators
missing here? Do
detected.
you have a clan on Xbox? Technically, yes, but it's just me and
Entering safe area.
some real life buddies. So it's not one that I like promote for the channel. I just use it for personal reasons. So I don't have one that I'm advertising, unfortunately, Dennis. But if you join our Discord, the link is down in the description. We have clan recruitment channels. You have a pretty good chance of finding one there, probably. So, oh my goodness. King, coming in with a $20 super chat, was the very first creator to inspire me to create in the Division community. So well deserved. I wish I could give more. Man, you did not need to do that. But thank you very much for doing it. That's very nice of you to say. I remember back when you were jumping in the streams asking about PvP and stuff, and then I saw your clips getting better of it on Twitter. It's been really awesome to see you make stuff, man. Again, you did not need to to do that, but I sincerely appreciate it, and it is hard to believe on my end that I'm inspiring anyone to do anything, because I still feel like I'm taking in, inspiration and growing myself. It doesn't feel like I'm at where I'm at, but yeah. Thank you so much for those kind words and for the generosity, my friend. Appreciate you a lot. The whole deal with the hunter in New York, it is not confirmed that there is a new hunter. What they have confirmed is that this hook that was added to the wall with all the masks, we got this confirmation just the other day from Palais, it was intentional, is what they said, for them to add this new hook. That would imply that there is a new mask out there for us to put on there, but we don't know anything else. All we know is that it was intentional for them to add this new hook to the wall. So, take from that what you will. They did also hint before that there could be an undiscovered hunter mask in New York, like a puzzle-based one. That was in a video a few months ago, but again, that's not confirmed. That was just kind of suspected from their wording. Kelso's mask. But it came in last season. That's the thing. It's not new from this season. It was last season. That doesn't rule that out. But I don't know. I'm not convinced. Yeah, thank you, King. Thank you, man. Mallory's in here when I'm at work. This is the new weekly time, I know. It sucks. There's never like one time that works for everybody. But thanks for stopping by, friend. Yeah, if anyone uses our Discord, Mallory's the one that makes all that work, so big ups to Mal for that. I'm convinced there's a new puzzle in New York.
Safe area detected.
That would be cool, but again, it's like, why has no one figured it out yet then? I don't know. Maybe there's just not enough people looking? I could make a video on that, I guess. Try and spark some more people to get eyes on it, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, well, what should we flip and do, people? What were the other things I was going to check out? Oh! Alright, let's make a poll. Chat decides what I do next. Bill Buttlicker, I love the name reference. Love the content. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. And A1 reference there. Alright, let's do a poll. These are the two things I'm interested in checking out. Let's either hit some conflict, or we'll check out some of the Descent changes with this season, because I've actually yet to play Descent. So if you got a preference on what we play next, be sure to vote in the chat. Is the Shield Splinterer still good with Striker or St. Elmo's better? Peanut, I could not tell you the exact math behind it. But to my knowledge, they're both still at the top of the chart. Like, either way you go, you're going to do well. The Shield Splinterer might outclass Elmos by a slight bit, but then of course you don't get the shock property, so both of those options are still top tier. Would you rather see a new incursion or a new raid? We were talking about earlier with the difference between them. I personally think they should go in the direction of incursions. I think they're more accessible. I think they're more, you know, I just think that would be a better direction to go in. As for what faction, I have thought for a long time it'd be cool if they did like a subset of the Outcasts with the Moravian Society, that like teaser from Roosevelt Island. So it'd be cool if they did that. This poll is very close. It is split down the middle. Yeah, back to back here. Got Rex said conflict should be good. Demo says play Descent. And Nike says Descent is definitely mad boring. How about we do this? Yeah, or the underground faction. True. Dude, if we got a boss with the chainsaw, that'd be sweet. It's split pretty close down the middle. Descent edged out conflict a little bit. Let's do this. We'll do a Descent run and just get to the Nemesis. We'll see if we can do it in the 4-loop thing, because that's what they advertise, is that it's quicker to do now. We'll do that quickly, and then we'll do some conflict, all right? We'll do both. But since Descent won out the poll, we'll do that first. And that too, what Hunter said is 100% true, is that they should do an incursion on Rikers Island. I actually, if you guys watched my interview with Morton last year, I said that to him at the end. I was like, you know, everyone's thought for a long time you should do an incursion on Rikers Island. And he was like, okay. But yeah, that'd be very cool too. All right. Well, thank you for all the votes on the poll. Descent won out by a slight little bit. So we will do a Nemesis run quick, and then we will do some conflict. Bada bing, bada boom. And I have not... Actually, let's go look at the current talent rotation, because that's now a thing to think about and be aware of.
Hostile control point nearby.
How to get the shield splinter only from the secret bounty? I believe you do have to do the hunter puzzles, although if King is still in here, I know he put out a video the other day about like getting it apart from that. I actually don't know if there's a way to do it aside from that. Someone can jump in if there is. I believe you have to do that, and then you have to, then it'll go in Cassie Mendoza's inventory. But frickin' Racer, dude, people are just popping off today. Racer 26 stop with a $20 super chat. Favorite lore bit or character in the whole series? That is a tough question. That's a very tough question. But Racer, also first time super on a live stream. Thank you so much. I feel like I'm just a broken record, but that is incredibly generous of you. Thank you, thank you. I worry that I start to sound insincere, but I truly appreciate that. Favorite lore bit or character in the whole series? I am a very big April Kelleher fan. I like the connectivity that she had in Division 1 and 2 and in between. But it's tough, because obviously I also think Keener is freaking awesome. I might go with April Kelleher. I really liked her story and how they tied it in with everything. I hope and I think that they'll probably bring her back in like Div 3. That'd be really cool to have a character like go between all of them. So that's kind of where my mind's going to for favorite character. Favorite lore bit. Favorite lore bit is a good question. I don't know. That's tough. I should know, given I just spent 2 months making an iceberg video. All right, I can probably start this. What do we got? Envy. Oh, this looks pretty good. With trauma? Oh, perfect. All right, let's get in here. But yeah, again, Racer, thank you so much for that. Favorite lore bit? Maybe like one of the like rarer comms to collect. or maybe like was the underground like alligator thing ever proved, or was that a theory? I don't remember, but that's a fun one. Or maybe like one of the those, what do they call them? Oh, I forget. I'd have to look in my menu.
Tech prohibited. Access denied.
I can't look at it in here. The like comms from around the world, like the different countries ones that you find in the Feilau mission. Those are cool. It's probably one of those. So I'll lock in April Kelleher and I'll say one of those things.
Activated.
Ah, Barden Schaefer is good too, Deimos. From Div 2, my two favorite new characters in Div 2 were Barden and Kelso. Barden's pretty awesome. Honestly, like, if I'm talking, like, top 5 characters, Rick Velassi, and this is in no order, Rick Velassi, Barden Schaefer, probably Kelso, Keener, and April. I think are all pretty awesome, pretty rad. Wow, you guys are killing it this stream. And, oh, what do I see here? We got another freaking donation from Hunter. What movie or TV series are you currently watching? Hunter, thank you again for the generosity, man. At the moment, I am not actually watching anything. I wrapped up watching The Boys recently. That was one I'd intended to get around to for a long time. So that was fun. Enjoyed that a lot on Amazon. What I'm about to start is frickin', for anyone who doesn't know, I've talked about this a few times. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. The new spinoff for that comes out in less than 2 weeks. We've been waiting for it for over 5 frickin' years. So if you think you know wait as a Division fan, trust me, it's rough over here. So The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live drops on the 25th. I am counting the hours until that. So that's going to be my next one. Yeah, Hunter, thank you so much for that.
Entering new location.
And that's true, Postman, good shout. Before The Boys, I watched Monarch on Apple TV, and that was awesome. That was a really good series. I like that a lot. But yeah, people are just popping off in the stream today. I can't thank you all enough for the people hanging out. We've pretty much held consistent this whole time. The freaking donations. You guys are truly rad. If I needed a reason to be motivated to do these weekly streams, it's this. You guys are so awesome.
Console active.
So many questions in the chat too. Again, if I miss stuff, guys, always feel free to resend. What's the reward? I can go back to the... I'll go back to the league stuff after this. We're talking about the backpack charms that they give in there, because I haven't personally ran a league in years, because I never thought the rewards were that cool, but I plan to do every league this season, because they're pretty sweet. Have you heard anything about the movie TV show that was in the works? Yeah, so as far as like a timeline or a release date, nothing there, but the director, Rawson Marshall Thurber, has continued to insist as recently as, I don't know, a week or two ago, that it's absolutely still happening. It's still in the works, and that as soon as he can share stuff, he will. My theory, and there's nothing to back this up, but my theory is that we will finally get an official update at Division Day this year, should that event happen in the next like 2 months. Because the script was done like a while ago. He tweeted out a picture of the script, I want to say 2 years ago maybe, and then we had the actors and writers strikes here in the States. The two leads that have been cast, at least supposedly, for a while, Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Chastain, are obviously very busy people. Scheduling in the movie industry is incredibly, that's like, can be even tougher than the actual production, like just getting people in the same place at one time, so it's coming from everything we've seen, and hopefully, yeah, we get that update sooner rather than later. We know it's going to take place during the timeline of Div 1, which should be awesome. I really hope, like what people have said for a long time, and I think it'd be very cool if Jake was playing Keener, and it's like Keener's origin story as a movie. That would be pretty rad. We get to see like the fall of the Dark Zone, and some of that stuff, and maybe Jessica's like the, you know, them two are in the same cell, and then she has to watch him go rogue, and then they fight. Like, that'd be pretty sick. That'd be pretty sick. Okay. Mallory coming in with the super chat as well. Oh man. Keener was right. Ain't no reason to deny it. Got to get back to work. See you all agents in the Discord. I'm ready not target when I finish Keener's work. Mallory, you did not need to do that. You do more for me than I could ever ask you to do. But thank you so much for the generosity. Thank you, thank you. How is that right at all when you're in there tweaking the Discord day in and day out? I don't know. You're crazy. Thank you.
Console active.
Hey, King, have a fantastic rest of your day, man. I look forward to seeing the clips. Again, thank you for the donation. You really didn't have to, but that was incredibly kind of you. And see you around, man. Keep killing it.
Entering new location. Difficulty rating. High value target.
Wait, so what was the... I feel like people were talking about it and I got distracted by something else.
Hostile construction initiated.
Oh, Mr. Oni, how's the matchmaking going in game? Is there a solid population? Love the content. Thank you. It seems to vary for different people. I was under the impression that every platform at the end game was very consistent. On Xbox, I pretty much never have trouble matching for whatever. People say like PvP is the least populated thing. And I say this without hyperbole. Like I feel like some people think I'm joking. I never wait longer than usually 30 seconds to maybe a minute for a conflict game. But I have heard some people say that they struggle to matchmake for certain things on certain platforms. All I can say with first-hand experiences out on Xbox, the endgame is very populated for whatever activity you're trying to do. Before level 40 is when you're going to struggle, because that's, you know, looter shooters are all about the endgame. There's not a lot of people hanging around the lower levels. But at the endgame, you should be pretty good on most platforms. So yeah. But what was the consensus on the shield splinter? Did someone say you can get the blueprint from Descent? Is that the other way to get it if you don't want to do the puzzles? There we go. Oh, this is tough. Although isn't play kind of bugged right now? I like Bullet Hell anyway. I don't feel remorse. I'll take that. May the 3rd 1 and 2, then on 3 the spike was 10x. Well, we'll see. Like I said, I haven't done it yet. I'm on PlayStation, did Conflict the other day, filled up pretty much immediately, and that's normally how it is for me, so I feel like it is pretty good overall. Radislav, I really hope I'm saying that correctly. If not, I'm super sorry. New to the game, level 16 right now. Any tips for beginners? Never played any Division games. Well, welcome to the game. I hope you're enjoying. If you want to search up, and I can link it if you need it, I made a new player guide last year that a lot of people have said pretty much helped them get a grasp on what's going on. It's mainly tailored towards the end game, though. My opinion is that while you're going through that leveling experience, you said you're 16 right now, that it's best to really just take it at your own pace and discover things and keep going like that. If you're at 16, I would guess that you have a pretty good grasp on what's going on with the different systems. But yeah. Don't rush things. Just find out what kind of pieces you like. Use that. Keep going through the story. And then once you hit the end game, things open up a lot, and that's where I definitely recommend that guide because it kind of helps explain the different systems and content and all that. But if you have any like specific questions, I'm happy to try and answer.
Console active.
What's the best league reward? It's in reference to the charms. I was saying I haven't done leagues in years because I just don't think the charms are usually that cool at all, but all of the ones this season look like they have these VFX to them. One's on fire, one's got ice, this one's got a skull and it glows. So that's what we're aiming for. And then you get the general rewards of all the caches and whatnot.
New location. Difficulty rating. Easy.
Libertarian, what's up?
System
Good to
disrupted.
see you, my friend.
Hostiles
I haven't even... The likes are on a different screen. I can't even see them here. But we're at 240 likes. Thank you all so much
System
for the crazy support. And just for hanging out. This is so encouraging for me coming back. This is the first weekly stream that we're doing back, and it's been this successful. I couldn't be happier. Thank you all.
console available.
Going for the Skullbreaker charm, yeah. I feel I'm most excited probably... Dang, I'm out of slots. I'm most excited probably for the fire or ice one. But yeah, they all look really sick. And that's like, if leagues had that every time, I would do leagues every time. But I legitimately have not run one in years
Activating chemical hazard.
because I just don't think they ever really look that cool.
Entering new location.
And it all comes down to preference, as all cosmetic stuff does. But, you know.
Hostiles constructing. Hostiles spawn from highlighted doors.
I do have a pretty understandable grasp. I don't really understand the build system completely. Gotcha. So, basically the way that all shakes out is Division takes a lot of inspiration from some classic RPG setups and games. The basic breakdown is that red translates to damage, like how much your bullets do when you hit an enemy. Blue translates to armor or survivability, right? How many shots you can take from an enemy before you die. And yellow in the Division translates to skill power, essentially, which is like skills, like my decoy here, how strong those are when you use them. And so you get to choose as a player how you want to invest in your build. Do you want your build to deal a lot of damage? If so, then you probably want a build that has a lot of red attributes. If you want a build where you yourself can survive a lot of damage, then you want to go blue, because then you can soak more bullets. Or if you want to have some crazy skill build where your skills are really powerful, then you want to go towards yellow, because then that's what it is. And the fun part of the Division, in my opinion, is the fact that you can mix and match all of this stuff and create kind of your perfect build to where you have a bit of everything, right? You can create hybrids where you go in between red and blue and yellow.
Hazard detected.
So that's probably the most basic way I can break down
Selected. Difficulty rating.
the thing there. And it seems like you were pretty much getting there on your own. Yeah, red damage, blue tank, yellow support, basically,
Hostiles spawn from highlighted
at the end of the day. And as you get to the end game and as you get further along, there are more pieces that let you do crazier things, like someone said, their talents, attributes, all of that. That video I mentioned, the new player guide, I can link it right after this room. It does talk about the build system, and even during the campaign that should help you get a better grasp. So here, let me just link that
online.
so that you have it. And you can, you know, bookmark this, come back to it whenever you need the different info bits in there. There we go. So linked in the chat right now, I just put a link to my new player guide. As I said, feel free to bookmark that. But there is a section in there, and you can find the timestamps in the description of the video dedicated to talking about the build system. So hopefully that helps you out. I did Golden Bolt because I love the Golden Pistol Charm. Yeah, the global event ones are usually pretty cool. But the leagues, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just haven't been a fan of them the last few seasons. Yeah, Oni, there is no crossplay in Division 2, unfortunately, so each platform only can play with people from that same platform. Do you have a Google Doc for the layout of different builds? Bill, I do not. Probably the best thing I can offer in that regard is I have a playlist here on the channel called Division 2 Build Videos, and it's just a collection of all the various build videos I've ever put out, highlighting different playstyles, different builds, all of that. There are, if you go to like the Division subreddit, I know they have links to a lot of like build hub things like that where they do Google Docs and have all that laid out. That's just not something that I've ever gone into a bunch. Don't shoot the rocket. Thank you. Oh, the inaccuracy. Oh, goodness. There we go. Alright, so Powerbomb said he noticed a spike after 2. See if we feel the same thing here. Enjoying the heck out of the GE changes? Yeah. Yeah, I put a video out on it before I went live, and it reanimated feels really good with the change. Luminous! What's up, friend? How you doing? Good to see you. Let's do... yeah. No worries, Oni. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good one. And you're always free to ask questions on the comments of videos or wherever. All right. On our way to the Nemesis. So this is a pretty good example. They said they shortened the time it takes to get to the Nemesis because they added more heat gauge. Normally, you could do it at minimum loop 5, or after loop 5. Now you're supposed to do it to be able to get there after loop 4, and we're currently exactly at 50%, and we're halfway to the end of loop 4. So if we keep getting the right rooms, we should hit it at the end of loop 4.
Easy. Hostile construction initiated.
Just made a build of True Patriot and Lady Death. That's a solid setup now that they changed the talent this patch. I was going to do a Resolve build on that. Another really good one is if you do that and you use Ninja Bike and Brazos, because then you get all of the magazine bonuses and you just get a really high Lady Death mag. That sounds fun. I might actually... maybe that's what I do. Because I tried that and I didn't feel like I had enough damage. So I didn't want to put out a build video that's like, you know, not that good. But maybe, yeah, if you do True Patriot and then you mix it with more damage stuff instead of Brazos, that could be good too. I don't know. I'll try it out. Change the talent on the Lady Death. Yeah, they made it so that the amped rounds scales with your mag size. So previously it was capped at 32 even if you were to exceed that amount. But now you get an amped number of rounds equal to however big your mag size is.
Room selected. Difficulty rating.
And given people didn't know about that, that kind of makes me think I should do a video on it at some point. But yeah, so if you build, like you can get almost a 60 round mag if you use True Patriot and Brazos, and you would have almost 60 rounds then of the full amplified damage. Oh, I can aim, totally. Oh, that was a good shot.
Console available. Supply station.
By the way, I think I missed you earlier, McFlash. How's it going, man? How you doing on this Tuesday? And Ghost, what's up? How are you? I use it with Umbra. You use Lady Death with Umbra? You're insane, Powerbomb. I love that, but you're insane.
Entering new location.
I feel like that would just fire so... you'd be reloading every half second.
Hostile construction initiated.
Yes, the rock and roll ammo thing, I believe the devs are aware of because it's happening... well, what's happening on the rest of the guns is that the one extra round you can load in will disappear. To my knowledge, they should be working on a fix for it, I think.
Console active.
Alright, I still need trauma. I need to get some yellows. other than that, we're doing pretty good. We're doing these 1 tier, so this will get us up to 78 by the last loop. That should be pretty good.
Room selected. Difficulty rating easy. Constructing
Love your videos, homie. Definitely top division content. Tobias, thank you so much for saying that. I'm gonna get shocked. That's incredibly kind of you to say. It's honestly like the video yesterday, for example, was just like a pretty wild instance of how crazy this whole thing has become. Like, I figured, hey, I should let people know about this, about how good Conflict is to play now. Put that out, and it's now almost got, what, 35,000 views in the first 24 hours? That's astronomical. That's insane. So, I can't thank you, everyone, enough for just joining our community here and being a part of it, because it's really a dream come true. And to think back to where I was a few years ago is wild. But anyway, Tobias, thank you for saying that. The rhythm of the gameplay loop is a bit tough to get into, but once you get into it, it absolutely shreds. Maybe I'll have to try it sometime. Maybe that's what I've been missing with Umbra, because I was like, I don't love the gameplay style with Umbra, but
difficulty rating high value target.
maybe that would change my mind. Because I guess you do get reload speed with it, right? So if you pair that with like Gunner, every 3rd reload is way faster. That could be fun. Not a bad idea there. And some say Division is dead. Lies. That's what I say. You want to know what the funniest thing was with that the other day? I forget if this was in a stream or I think it was a comment. I saw someone saying Division is heading out the door, what, you know, the regular like game is dead comment you get, but then they said the game lost over 400,000 players last month. And I'm like, if the game had, which we are led to believe that there's probably somewhere between like 500k and a million monthly players, I think. But I'm like, if the game could even like logistically lose 400,000 people in 1 month, it was on stream, okay. I was just like, that alone would speak to how it's not dead. I mean, yeah, if it lost that many in 1 month, that would be bad. But anyway, I was just like, do you realize the irony in saying that it had 400,000 people to lose in 1 month? I just thought that was really funny. But anyway. What's the league reward? I can show it off once we're done with this run. They added some new charms that I think look super cool because they have these like VFX to them and stuff. So I'm going to be going for the league rewards after years of not doing a league. Umbra made me like the Merciless. That's probably an interesting combo too. I actually tried the Merciless the other day to see if it was any better with some of the changes made, and I was whelmed. I'll put it that way. Alright, here we're on loop 4. Assuming we do all this correctly, we should be at the Nemesis right after this.
Entering new location. Difficulty rating easy.
Do you think Div 2 is under-advertised, considering how much better the game is after Resolve? Thank you very much, Zill. I appreciate that. I would say yes, but the reason is probably, like, I mean, if you think about it, marketing is a super expensive endeavor, right? If you think about marketing for, like, in Hollywood, you'll spend on a marketing budget, sometimes not that far off from what you spent to make the thing itself. And that's why, like, for box office numbers, it needs almost like triple its money to actually break even, because you have to pay the theaters, you have to pay a ton for marketing, and you pay for the cost of the thing itself. For Division 2 specifically, even though the game has made an incredible comeback considering the circumstances, it's still not getting that much, at least from what I've heard, like behind the scenes, it's not getting that much of a budget from Ubisoft. Obviously, it's working what they're doing to put out the stuff that they do, and I think what a lot of people undervalue is how much work the devs are putting in to work with what they have to keep the game running.
Hostile construction initiated.
I really want to say something, but I think I'd probably get in trouble for it. But I think Division 2, like if it had a bigger budget, you would absolutely see them marketing more. I just think they're allocating what they can to where they can to do the best with the circumstance given, if that makes sense. The movie's marketing budget is typically equal to, yeah, exactly, Powerbomb. What are you farming Descent for? We are just checking out the changes from this season, really. I had not played Descent yet since Season 3 went live, and so I figured this would be a solid time to do so. None of these are all that good. I guess I could do this. Sure. But yeah, what I'm really excited for, and if anyone has joined the Division 2 in like the recent years here, you probably like the difference between how Division is handled now compared to, let's say, between 2016 and 2020. It is going to blow people away how it feels to like be involved in this community once Division 3 is here and once we get back to that like main priority from Ubisoft. It is night and day how we used to have state of the game every week, or mostly every week. How we used to have updates that always came out on time, no delays. How we used to have so much less bugs. And again, I don't put a lot of this blame on the devs because they're doing their best with what they were given and with the experience that they had to continue this game on. But people who have played for a long time, I think, know the difference between how it felt to be a part of the Division back then compared to now. And I think once Div 3 is here, we're really going to feel that again, and it's going to be wild to get back to that. What do I mean by circumstances? I just mean the basically the conditions around the game right now. So for example, the fact that what does that have to do with the consumer? Well, I mean, from a consumer standpoint, you don't have to care about them, right? At the end of the day, you're paying and investing time into a product, so it's not our job to really care about what's happening behind the scenes. But if you look at what's happened with the Division 2 over the past, let's say, what is it now, 2024, which doesn't feel right, the last 3 years. 3 years ago right now, there were 6 people left on the Division team. And that was because the majority of the Division 2's team got pulled over to Star Wars Outlaws. And as I said originally, the game was intended to end with Season 4. But by some miracle, Yannick and the other 5 people left at Massive were able to convince Ubisoft to say, hey, let's keep going with this. There's clearly still a lot of interest in the game. Warlords of New York did really well. And so they had to rebuild an entirely new development team from people who had never worked on Snowdrop or never worked on The Division at Ubisoft Bucharest. And somehow they made that work. They've now added Shanghai, and over these last 3 years, they've worked to get to this point where now they're able to commit to producing a DLC, an endgame redesign, and they're doing a lot. Oh no, answering questions like that is honestly what I love doing the most on these streams, 80, so feel free to ask away. But basically, yeah, like I said, from the consumer position, it's not our responsibility to care about that stuff at all. I just find it important when we're talking about this stuff to accurately reflect the reality of what's happening behind the scenes, which is that, by all accounts, this game should not still be around. If you go for, 18, or what was it, 15 months? Yeah, 15 months without new content on a game like this, usually that's enough to kill a game off. Or at least not have it come back in the way that Div 2 has. Especially given that people working on the game had never worked on this game or engine before, prior to that experience. And certainly things are not perfect. There's a lot of bugs, there's a lot of delays, and I don't think anyone is trying to shy away from that. But despite that, I still think it's important to recognize the accomplishments that they've made. Anyway, How long is your run been going for? Well, they shortened, so that was one of the changes they made this season, Fluffy, was that you used to not be able to get to the Nemesis before Loop 5, and now you're able to do it at the end of Loop 4, because they made it, you get more heat gauge per room now, so that's one of the things that I kind of wanted to test out in here. Why are they making Div 3 if they're also making Heartland? Because they want Division to be a universe that has very different experiences. So Heartland and Div 3 are not going to be the same kind of game. And Heartland is a very different game from Division 1 and 2. It's a survival-based extraction shooter, essentially. It's not a looter shooter. It doesn't really feature that many RPG elements, and this is all from the trailer that they've shown and what they said back at Division Day last year. And it's free to play, and in combination, all of those things, there will be some overlap of big Division fans who want to play all of it, but they're also targeting different audiences and different demographics, because they want Division to be this kind of franchise that has a lot of different experiences within it. And that's also evident with Resurgence. They're going to have a whole audience for the game on mobile, or for the franchise, I should say. And presumably, Division 3 will fill the same role that Division 1 and 2 did, which is this ongoing live service looter shooter. Which, again, some people will play all of them, but essentially, they all target different audiences. Um... 100%. I'm trying my best not to mess this up. Numenorian? I hope I said that right, but yes, I fully agree with what you said there. Any idea, would Limitless say, on what Seasons 2.0 and the endgame revamp means? I did some videos on it last year that kind of go over the exact quotes that we have. All that we know from what they've said is that with Seasons 2.0, they want to make Seasons more dynamic, more engaging than they currently are. That's really about all they've said there. And then for the, endgame revamp, what Yannick said back then was that they want the endgame, when a new player gets to the endgame, they want it to be more comprehensible why a player should play, let's say, Countdown versus Kenley College, right? He said they want to better explain the different activities, why you would want to play them, re-incentivize the rewards behind different things. And that's essentially what they said on it so far. They've also hinted since then that they are likely going to use this opportunity to tackle difficulty. At the very highest end of play and content, a lot of the difficulty has kind of fallen off. There's not much challenge anymore for some of those most hardcore players. So they've hinted at the fact that they're probably going to work on trying to reintroduce that. And they've also said that the endgame revamp will come with a new item type to insert into our builds. That's really all we know. Supposedly it's like a new farmable item. I doubt it's going to be like a 7th gear slot, but they might do some sort of like trinket style thing. If you've ever played World of Warcraft or something like that, they have these like trinket slots that are almost like secondary items. That's my best guess on what that's going to be. But yeah, so we're lacking a lot. Like, we don't know a lot of the details on the endgame redesign yet, but in essence, that's what we know. All right, how many things can I get from here? %, Zilla. 100%. The big question, why make Div 3? Well, I think there's a lot of reasons. I think once you have a looter shooter like Div 2 that's gone through so many ups and downs, roller coasters, you can still make it better, and that's what they're doing right now. But in a lot of ways, I don't want to say it's tarnished, but it's just like, it's a lot harder to convince people to get back into a, 7-8-year-old game, if we're talking about, a little bit in the future now, compared to making a brand new next gen, that's a big thing, next gen version of the Division that you can kind of get everybody into at once, and hopefully from there, just keep it going up and up and up. That's essentially what I think the main draw is. But technology-wise, Division 2 is held back in a lot of ways, specifically by the last generation of consoles. Now, they could cut those out and continue Div 2 on without supporting them, but they would probably lose a lot of revenue there. One example of this is the fact that in PvE content, there can be no more than 9. This is what I was told at one point. I'd have to go and look in the game, but you can have no more than 9 AI enemies in any room with you at one time, because apparently any more than that would risk crashing older gen consoles. So that's like one example of a way that they are limited in their game design because of how things are structured with that. So I think there's a lot of benefits to doing a fully fledged Div 3. All right, I think I'm ready. Get all of this. Thoughts on adding a 4th weapon slot for melee, whole new category of stats, etc. Would be quite cool. We do know that we're getting melee weapons in the Division Heartland. And the only reason I'm hesitant to think that we might get that in Div 2 is that a long time ago, Frederick Thylander, who was the 3C guy on the Division 1 and 2, which means characters, camera, and... Oh no, what's the last C? Anyway, Frederick Thylander was like the main guy for characters and weapons and all of that in the game. He talked about a long time ago how the reason they didn't ever go with melee weapons or melee takedowns in Division 1 and 2 was because if you want to have that system feel good and engaging, then there needs to be like actual mechanics to it, and it needs to interact in gameplay, and they said they didn't really come up with that aspect, so they didn't go with it. So it's not impossible that they could add melee weapons. I just don't know if they would if they don't simultaneously create like a more in-depth melee system. And I don't know if that's something we're really going to see in Div 2. Possible, but it seems like Heartland has kind of thought about that more from the beginning. At least you would think so if they're going with melee weapons, so who knows. I really should have put the bullets on my FAL. There we go.
Simulation terminated. Collating data.
Yeah, about the copies sold. That was one of the craziest parts about... There we go. We got the Nemesis, by the way. Crazier parts about Tom Henderson's Ubisoft report is he said that Div 1 and 2 both sold... Like, Div 1 in its first week sold, I think, around 330 million in sales, and Div 2 was like 270. Which is so wild, especially when you go back to those quotes from Ubisoft in 2019 saying that Div 2 didn't meet expectations. I get why they would say that, because I'm sure they were hoping it would surpass Div 1, but shut the F up. Because now, and they said that Assassin's Creed, which is like their beloved franchise that gets all the support in the world, only was scoring like 250 per entry, even back in the days of like Odyssey. So you're telling me that Div 2 beat out Odyssey, and yet still, they were going to drop support for Div 2. Like, that's just wild for me. Div 2 sold even better than that? Well, over time, yeah. And I can only go off of that one quote for the initial launch week, I don't know, but it's just crazy to me that they treat Assassin's Creed so well when apparently it doesn't even do as well as Div 2 did. It's like, alright, cool. So there we go. That was Nemesis Run we got at Loop 4. About similar rewards to usual. Yeah, I mean, the good news is that they seem to be kind of coming to their senses now, getting off the stupid NFT, BS, and all the crazy projects they were doing. And it does seem like now they're on a trend towards where they're focusing more on either core IP that has the potential to really succeed, or actual dedicated new projects that have a vision from the start, unlike, you know, Ghost Recon Frontline, for example. So it seems like they are heading in a good direction, but yeah, they took a big stumble over the last, let's say, 6-7 years. Skull and Bone says otherwise. Well, but I don't think you can really count that as... Because their choices with that, it's been in the works since, what, 2012 or 13? They can either just take the loss on all of that money, or they can put it out and try and make some stuff back. I mean, that's the thing with game dev, is that it takes place over such large periods of time. Skill Up, if anyone watches him, made a really good analogy on this a while ago, where if you're on a cargo ship in the middle of the ocean and you decide you want to turn around, you can do that, but it's going to take you a while to turn the ship, 180 degrees. And that's kind of what I think we're seeing with Ubisoft right now. They are working towards, I think, a better overall goal, but there's still stuff that's going to happen in the meantime that has remnants of the old kind of mindset. But yeah. Alright, so I'll just verify that I didn't get a comm for that. Yeah, so that's not working right now. I think we did get a commendation. We did. Oh, I just hit the next level? No. Why would you tell me that, game? I was already at 11. This one I can't claim for some reason. No, maybe I can? No. Oh, what are people saying here? From my understanding, they had to release Skull and Bones due to some deal they had with the country. Their forced launch game because they had money from Singapore. Well, there you go. And also on top of that, they probably, you know, that's what's so crazy to me about stuff like the recent Last of Us Online game. I was pretty excited for that, but they worked on that thing for like, I don't know, 6 years or more, and they just basically decided to not put it out. And it's crazy to me how, from an executive standpoint, that would make more sense than to even hand the game away to a different studio to handle. Like, if Naughty Dog didn't want to become a live service studio, that's fine. Give it to someone else and put it out and at least make some money back. Again, I don't know fully what went into that decision, but it's crazy to me that stuff like that makes more sense than just releasing it and doing that. That cancellation hurt my soul, I know. And I don't even play Last of Us, but I've always seen the gameplay and thought that looks incredibly fun, and so that probably would have been a really, really cool game. All right, is it conflict time, folks? I'm going to pull the kind of scummy move and not show them what build I'm going in with. Because, yeah. And let's do it. Let's run some conflicts. We're, what, 2 hours into the stream? Do a few games of this. Oh, yeah. Once again, I can't thank you all enough for the support on this stream. Way beyond what I was expecting for just this first weekly stream we're doing, but we have maintained almost 300 people for the last, like, hour or more now. And we're pushing 300 likes. So, thank you all from the bottom of my heart for that. Domination, you frickin' tools. No one likes skirmish. People are voting Team Elim now because apparently that's the best way to get XP. We should see if we can get a Team Elim. I have not played that mode in probably years, if I'm being honest. So. Can you just enter into conflict as a PvE build and change immediately to a PvP build? By the way, thank you. Thank you, Fruity. No, you're breathtaking. Can you enter in as a PvE build and change to a PvP build? If you mean, are you allowed to swap gear when you're in conflict? The answer is yes. If you mean, is your PvE build suddenly going to do well in PvP? Probably not. There are definitely some ways you build towards PvP. I've got plenty of PvP videos here on the channel that you can check out. I should probably unlink. I gotta get rid of my link now that's talking about the build because this is not it. Alright. Swap to this. I didn't look at what they were using at all, so that was kind of silly of me, but let's see how this does. Played the Skull and Bones beta. But, speaking to the general Ubisoft trend,
Rogue fixer drone detected.
I actually played a different Ubisoft game lately that unfortunately I can't talk about. It's not Division related, so, you know, don't think that. But a different game that I actually was quite impressed by, or at least I could see the vision. And that's hopefully where we see them head in the future, where they're working on stuff that actually seems to have a bit of a purpose. Oh, he's almost down. Yeah, come back this way. No! That's about as one shot gets.
Agent down.
Not X-Define, no. I don't believe it's been talked about publicly. I am still excited for X-Define. I don't know how it's gonna do, honestly, but I enjoyed it when I played it. It'll be a fun, just like boot up every now and then kind of deal. Never get to see a stream, so happy to catch one. I'm glad you're here, McFlashaw. Good to see you.
Hostile Stinger Hive detected.
When is Ubisoft Forward? They have not announced one. Probably around E3 time if they stick with what they did last year. What they did say on the recent investors report, which I usually make videos on if there's something good to talk about. This one didn't really have anything. But they said that in May they're going to outline their calendar for the next fiscal year, including like the release dates of Star Wars Outlaws and the new Assassin's Creed for the year. Oh boy. So I think summertime should be pretty big. They'll do that investors call, and then they'll do Ubisoft Forward probably early June. All this build's working indeed, baby. I love this thing so much. This is one of my favorite builds I made over the past, we'll say, year. I love it when a build like shouldn't work, but then it does, and you're like, whoa, sick.
Boost about to come online.
So hype for Outlaws. I am too. I mean, I'm not like a huge Star Wars person, and obviously I'm not like a huge single player person either.
Boost online.
But I'm just excited to see how the game feels from, you know, the people that have been working on Div for 8 or more years before that.
Allies are acquiring the boost.
Star Wars and Ninjas. And if they don't talk about it at a Division Day, if that doesn't happen before then, we might hear about Heartland, whether or not that is within the fiscal 24 calendar. That would be the place. Oh shoot, I was trying to stagger him.
Immediate.
Dang it.
Get medical assistance needed.
Sounds good, Rodrigo. Have a fantastic rest of your day, my friend. Again, thank you for the support and generosity. And I will see you around indeed. You have a video? Yes, I do. Right after this game, I will pin it in the chat now that we're not doing PvE. That other link is not valid. I'll link it so you can check it out.
Rogue Defender drone detected. Hostile Defender drone detected.
Oh, jump down. I'm so dead. Do the cover to cover. Oh, so many things went wrong right there.
Assistance needed.
So many things just went wrong.
Incapacitated.
Wait, I'm alive? No, I'm not. Alright, let me just pull up the build now.
An agent needs assistance.
So many things went wrong that wasn't even funny. I tried to jump down, it wouldn't work. Then I tried to kidney push, and I tried to cover, and it just said, nope, you're not going to do it. I'm posting the build link right now. Alright, the one I just put in the chat there is the current build.
Down.
I will link it as soon as it lets me. Or pin it, I mean. Would you recommend either Conflict or just DZ to become more proficient at PvP combat? You know, it's a good question. Before this update, I would have said DZ without a question. Now they made a change so that Conflict does not provide you with your shade and expertise bonuses, so it's a lot more balanced in terms of newer players getting a sense of what's what. However, Conflict doesn't allow you access to the radar, which I think is like a pretty fundamental part of Division PvP. So I'd say there's pros and cons to both. But probably Conflict, because in the DZ what you're going to run into is people who have 25 expertise on their guns and they just shred you. And there's really not much you can learn from that, right? So probably Conflict, but just keep in mind that the that the radar is typically a really important part of PvP combat. And it doesn't have random NPCs, yeah. Oh, thank you for jumping down. I thought you saw me and you were gonna... Oh!
Serious trauma detected.
That guy's got some insane damage.
Agent
Oh, 'cause he's got Umbra. Good play.
Agent killed.
Good play, good play.
Agent down.
You don't have many
They removed
reinforcements
expertise
left.
for non-invaded. They did not. They talked about it for a long time, but then on the reveal stream and throughout Project Resolve, they said that the philosophy they landed on was that Conflict should be the most pure and fair PvP experience, and that the DZ is meant to convey all of the power and time you've spent on the game and on your build, including expertise. So, for now, they have not changed anything for the DZ there. Do you find Conflict is very swingy, like every lobby is always a blowout for one side? I mean, I think a lot of that comes down to the spawn camping issue, right? Because even if you have good players on one team and you get spawn camp, there's just no way to get out of it. So I'd say that contributes a lot to it. Otherwise, I mean, I have some good games, and especially now there's a lot more reason for people to go in. You see a wider amount of people playing. So I don't know. DZ's not supposed to be fair. I mean, it's not, and that's what they said, is that the DZ is meant to be lawless. But I think there's a difference between not being fair and just being poorly balanced. And in my opinion, expertise is such a poorly designed system for PvP specifically that it's just silly that it's a part of it at all. But that's where we're at, so. Zen, getting back into this game on PC after playing since launch on PS4. I'm wondering if incursions are worth playing. Well, welcome back. Totally. If you have the team or the people to take on... What is going on there? That was something. If you have the people to take on the Paradise Lost incursion in this game, you can get one of the best guns in the game from it, the Ouroboros SMG. You also get a guaranteed exotic every week. I think it's totally worth doing. Yeah, I gotta watch for that Umbra guy. He does not mess around. Please let me live.
There are no more reinforcements.
Okay. Jump down, jump down, jump down. Oh, teammate just saved my ass. Oh my goodness. And we phoned him? Please! Get out of your heel. Clip it! Clip it! Oh my god, that was insane. That was insane. We have no lives left either. Oh, that was so beautiful. That's why I love PvP right there. I don't care if you don't have to. But don't tell me it's not fun. That was insane.
Rogue fixer drone detected. Hostile fixer drone detected.
Alright, still gotta be careful because I think that's the Umbra guy who hurts a lot. Oh, he's so weak. Thank you, Parabomb. Thank you, Civ. Or Sylv. What's going on? Oh, we're playing Conflict. That was just a pretty crazy PvP play right there. Whole team effort, too. Wasn't just me. Now I got the foam. Oh, I should have got the foam. Maybe because I didn't have an empty mag. Oh! A lot of damage. GG. See, that's the kind of gameplay you want. Yeah. Part of the problem, Malicide, I think, is just the limited matchmaking pool. And that's kind of why I'm hoping this update gets more people into Conflict, because it very much seems like... I love this new emote in here, too, by the way, from the season track. It's perfect. It very much seems like the two types of people you'll find in Conflict are people who play it all the time and are kind of insane, or people who have pretty much never played and they're like brand new to the thing. Hopefully this update gets a bit more of a healthy population in there where you have people that are also mid-tier skill level. I feel like that's really what Conflict is missing a lot of. So yeah, in the matchmaking too, there is definitely some deficiencies. That's partly the mode's fault and partly just the state of the overall game in PvP. New Conflict Umbra meta. I mean, Umbra's been very good in Conflict. Like I said, I just personally, Umbra's doesn't quite line up with my playstyle. So I'd play more, but I feel guilty because I totally screw up my team. And I understand that mentality. I do, and saw, I feel like, even multiple people saying that on my video yesterday. I wish people didn't feel like that because it's tough. And that's kind of the freaking problem with conflict to begin with. Even though I like this patch, I do have a lot of problems with conflict as a whole. They made it such a team-focused mode, and you can see that in the way they design spawns, how you all spawn together in one location. The fact that there's no radar, they want you to rely on like communication. They made it such a team-focused mode that if you have anyone who is not necessarily on the same page as everyone else, then it kind of screws you up. And that's not the player's fault, but the blame does feel like it's then on the player if they're not lining up with everyone else. My suggestion is to, I think the biggest sin you can commit in conflict is to not know what's happening and then just like be really aggressive. If you play more passively and you just try and stick with your team, I really, like, at me as a player, I couldn't fault you at all. So I hope people are willing to give conflict a try and to kind of play more passively and just kind of observe what's going on and how they can contribute to the team. Say for the millionth time, there needs to be a solo queue. I think the problem with that in the context of Div 2 is that there's just not enough people to support it, like, of a matchmaking pool. It would be a phenomenal idea, but with all the different time zones and regions and platforms, especially since there's no crossplay, I don't think the devs could consistently ensure that a solo queue would always, you'd be able to find a game. And that wouldn't be fun if you just had a lot of people trying to do it and then it fails and then they just don't play at all because they don't think there's anyone playing. In a Division 3, that would be amazing. And you see them doing it in Resurgence. They have a solo DZ queue. And that's totally what they should go for on the new game where there's a guaranteed number of people, you know? One down. That guy's down. Let's go up here. Is he running system corruption? I saw that nameplate disappear. Nice, got him. Cardenas, I'm on Xbox Series X.
Rogue hive detected. Hostile hive.
This is really dirty. I also have the debuff, so I should probably be a little more careful. Alright, this is why I have problems with conflict still, is the no radar. I can sit right here, they're not going to know I'm here.
Agent down.
Wait for it. And they had no idea I was behind him that whole time. And it's like, why design it that way? Like, now I might die because of it. Pop the kit! Oh, I was spamming my insta-kit. That's tough. Obviously, that still messed me up. But, like, it's just the... And I get what Red Storm was going for. They wanted it to be a very team-focused mode. But I feel like the people who play Division PvP want it to be that very fast-paced, aggressive experience. And I think if you had more dynamic spawning, if you had a radar, it would cater to that a lot better.
Agent down. Boost online.
Can I avoid the Delta 3 error? It's insane. See, I'm getting reports of people getting Deltas. I just can't figure out like what the common denominator is. What platform are you on? Radislav. Again, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Are you on PC?
Hostile explosive seeker mine detected. Rogue stinger hive detected.
We got the damage buff for another few seconds.
Hostile stinger hive detected.
Oh, he's got a lot of damage. Instant kit. Save me!
Immediate medical assistance.
Please!
Rogue
Oh, someone needs to push in there. There's 2 down.
Drone detected.
Oh, tough. They're going to get the res. PC, yes. Okay. I'll try and get that reported then, because you're not the first person I've heard that said that. The goal with this update was to get rid of a lot of those random disconnects and crashes, but I've heard a lot of people saying that they're having issues with that, but it seems to not be everybody, by far. This guy's tanky. I should probably get a full kill, right? So I don't... Oh, that was too close. So yeah, the deltas are likely just some odd
An agent needs assistance.
consequence of the latest update they did this week. Hopefully it'll be fixed soon, but I'll make sure to get that reported.
Agent down.
Using
Agent
UB Connect,
lines,
alright.
0.
Yeah, and then Zen says on PC hasn't had any issues. So I will make sure to get that reported. Hopefully it gets sorted out soon.
I drop your way.
Oh, I feel like I missed that earlier. People have been talking about a level cap increase. I don't think we will get another one. Because they've introduced the expertise system, the only way a level increase would work is if they allowed you a way to upgrade old gear to the new level cap, right? Which they could do. I'm just not convinced that they're going to do that again for Div 2. In Div 3, we might see that thing where they, do yearly expansions and increases and all that.
Rogue Stinger Hive detected. Hostile Stinger Hive
But yeah, Div 2, I'm not convinced. Especially because we don't know how the... Like, a big question point for me that I think a lot of people are not asking the question of how are they going to handle the DLC in terms of access. Do you have to pay for it? Probably. But then is it required content in the way that Warlords is to get future content? Since it's not being called an expansion but a DLC? Is it an optional purchase? What does that mean for people who don't have it? Do they put season content there? Like, we just don't know enough right now to answer those questions.
There are no more rogue reinforcements. That's why I think the supply drop has been taken by the enemy. Fight is
So once we know some of those details, maybe we can
Rogue Defender drone.
infer a little more. But I don't think they're going to do another
Hostile Defender drone detected.
level increase. Currently 60 watt, I don't play any other looter shooters. I've played a lot of them before. Before Division was ever a thing, Destiny 1 was my main game. Played that for a long time. I've played Warframe. But Division's obviously the one that has stuck around the most, given we're here right now. Wish this game had crossplay. It would be nice. Given that Heartland has it from base, they've confirmed that, it can be assumed that Division 3 will have that from launch day. That and cross-save, so that'll be good. What are we doing here? Where is this guy? Too bad I can't find out, because I don't have a radar.
Boost about to activate.
Yeah, this is fun.
Boost now active.
There he is. GG.
It's a win. Solid work.
What's up, Cheryl? How you doing today? Happy Tuesday to you. Hide and seek game mode. How many devs are working on the fixes or the whole game? How big is the team now? To my best guess, I think we're at somewhere between 100 and 200 people on Division 2. How do you get the third chest in conflict? So you get 1 cash for match completion. I believe you get 1 based on performance, and then you get 1 every time you level up. So if you see the ring there in the top left, every time that fills up, I'd get a 3rd cash. So if you complete the game, you get 1. If you do well enough, you get another 1. And if you level up, you get a 3rd. If you didn't read my comment earlier, to combat spawn camping, make the spawn area an invisibility area. Leaving gives you 3 seconds of invisibility. Maybe. It just kind of... Okay, now I kind of want to try Team Limb, because it supposedly gives you a lot of XP. My problem... And again, I appreciate people's ingenuity. They're coming up with all these solutions. My issue is that I think the core problem just comes down to the map design. Like, you can try all these crazy ideas, but I just think if they would just allow you to spawn at 1 or 2 other locations on the map, that would pretty much fix the whole problem, and then we don't have to start getting into crazy stuff like invisibility, or earlier Nuclear was saying the Conley EMPs. At the end of the day, we just want a PvP. We just want to shoot each other. People don't want all these crazy external factors playing into that, right? So, I don't know. We'll see if they ever address it in the future. I hope they do, given they didn't come up with one for this update. But just finished a round of Descent by myself. Nice. Got real far. Good stuff. Try Conflict for the first time yesterday. Actually loved it. Hated PvP before the update. That's awesome, Daniel. Really glad you enjoyed. Libertarian, we ran into the exact same thing on stream earlier. So I don't know if it's a new thing with this update, but I had the exact same problem. Any idea on when Heartland will come out? Haven't heard any news lately. The last thing we have heard, the last official thing we've heard, is that we'll get our next update from Red Storm and the team in 2024, this year. My suspicion is that will be at Division Day, if that happens again, which I think it will, but that's not confirmed. So yeah, that's all we got. I'm so screwed. It's not even funny. It is not funny in the slightest. Yeah, these guys are legit.
Serious trauma detected.
So there is a Division 3 coming? Yes, they confirmed that back in September of 2023. Get off of him! Holy, what do you got, Striker on that thing? Probably.
Agent down.
Yeah.
Agent deceased.
Is PvP still double XP? I don't know who started this thing about the double XP in PvP. Every time a new target opens for a season, there is a double XP event. But that only applies to the first 15 levels. So if you were within your first 15 levels, you'd be getting that up until yesterday. But Conflict is just providing a lot of base experience now after the update. Guys flew a little too close to the sun, I think. Maybe, if I don't die here. Wow, that's crazy that with the debuff, his striker still outpaces me.
Agent out of action. Boost online. The enemy is acquired a boost. And the enemy has acquired a boost.
There we go. That's a
Serious
team
trauma
wipe right there.
detected. Rogue hive detected. Hostile hive detected.
Well, the problem Tuesday is that, you know, I think we all want Division 3, but it's just not going to be ready anytime soon. So their options are they either stick with Div 2 and do what they can to keep it fun and engaging, or they just don't do anything with Division until Div 3 in 3 or 4 years, we'll say. I would prefer the former, but I know not everyone would. Division 2's tweeting stuff out, and I don't think it's anything important. No, we're talking about the season pass, alright.
Stinger hive detected. Hostile stinger hive.
Oh, mine actually hit. There we go. Took out the striker build.
Agent down. An agent needs assistance.
Reinforcements.
I don't think I knew that we spawned for it. Oh, okay, he gave up. I just need to get the full, because I'm not living through this, I don't think. No. But at least I took 2 out with me.
Agent vital signs 0.
The whole spawn camping problem is all about every map spawn point. Oh, yeah. No, that's what I've been saying. The problem just comes down to the map geography and the way they built the maps.
Agent down.
So, it's tough. Did you play the Heartland beta? If I did, I wouldn't be able to say. That was all under NDA, and I take those very seriously, so... If everyone's following their agreements, no one should be saying then that they played it.
Hostile defender drone.
Is this build the one you're tinkering with? No, this one is actually, if you click the link at the top of the chat, you can check it out right now.
Reinforcements
I've
are
pretty much
inbound.
locked in the one that I'm tinkering with. I just need to now make the video. Oh my goodness. Well, that's it for me. So that should be ready by, I'm hoping, like Thursday or Friday. Probably Friday or Saturday, honestly. But working on it as fast as I can.
Agent down.
The enemy is claiming the supply drop.
Alright, what do you guys think? Call it there, or do we do one more game?
You've lost.
By the way, we got to 310 likes. That's insane. That is insane. Can't end on a loss. Oh, don't do that to me. Alright, we'll do one more. Whenever I hear that term, my favorite memory was that some friends and I were playing Warzone, you know, back in, 2020 when it was popping off. And instead of can't end on a loss, our thing was we couldn't end on a win. And it was once Resurgence, Rebirth Island was out. Dude, we won like 8 times in a row, and it was like 2 a.m., and we're just like, we've never done this well in our lives. But now because we said we can't end on a win, we're just going. It was great. Alright, what is Division tweeting about here? Right, Menpo outfit in the pass. Oh, and they did a reanimated tweet. Cool. Cool. Let's do Team Elim. Apparently it gives you a lot of XP. But no one wants to play it because it's a lot more boring than the rest. Have we played on Wharf every match now? Oh no, we played McNair on one. Alright, last game, people. We better freaking win this. I didn't get to look at any of their builds. Tough. That's the problem with this build, is it works super well if they're not expecting it. And then once they know what it is, it struggles a little bit. But we'll give it one more go. If it's that same team, I'm gonna have a problem. They were very tight knit.
Wipe out the enemy before you run out of reinforcements.
There we go. Everyone's running out of spawn at the same time. That's a good sign. The entire other team isn't using firewall. That's also a good sign. Got one coming out.
Rogue defender drone detected. Hostile defender drone detected.
That hurts.
Seeker mine detected. Hostile explosive seeker mine detected.
Only one of them pushed up. There's the rest.
Rogue stinger hive detected. Hostile stinger hive detected.
Oh, that's a good hive placement. I would not have been able to see that very easily. And the spawn camp begins. Well, that's tough.
An agent needs assistance.
Oh, he's almost down. Catharsis saved me, because it's the best exotic. I definitely got way too cocky. What's up, Jacob? How do I gain access to the season pass after buying it? Do I need warlords? I need to beat warlords? Yes, you do. Seasons are only available at the end of the warlords campaign once you reach level 40. The good news is this one just started, so you have another 4 months until it ends. So whenever you finish up warlords, you'll be able to start leveling up your season pass.
Rogue assault turret detected. Hostile assault turret detected.
Oh, goodness.
Stinger hive detected. Hostile stinger hive detected.
Oh, but I have shock in my gun now? I should have, at least. They're playing as well.
Defender drone
Gotta give it to them.
detected. Hostile defender drone detected. The boost is being taken by allies.
Oh, he's got tamper-proof on
Allies
it.
have
Interesting.
acquired the boost.
They ain't ready for this one. Dang, dude.
Rogue explosive seeker mine detected. Hostile explosive seeker mine detected.
If the enemy doesn't turn this around, they'll be pulled out.
There's more back here. What's up, Oliver? Just got to 40-bit overwhelmed with all the choices and what to do. Where would you say is the best place to start? As soon as I'm done with this match, let me link you my new player guide that I made last year. Oh, the spawn's flipped. I don't know what I'm doing over here. It basically will introduce you to all of the major in-game systems and content, and should give you, you know, a general idea of where to go. So yeah, let me link you that as soon as I'm done here.
Assault turret detected. Hostile assault turret detected.
The Ouroboros drops exclusively from the Paradise Lost incursion, so not the two raids, but the incursion.
Specialization supply drop your way.
An agent needs assistance.
Yeah, no worries, Oliver. Where's that dropping in? Out here. Oh, it's over in 8 seconds. GG's. One more kill, one more kill, one more kill. No! Tough. Alright, let me pull it up.
That's one for the friend. The enemy.
There we go. We had to end on not a loss, and that's what we did. GG's. Alright, there you go. New player guide is linked in the chat. Be sure to grab the link before the stream ends in a few. Okay, 5-0. I'll take it. Now you can log off. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Tried your Heartbreaker Ouroboros build. It's literally the best PvP build in the game. You can't lose 1v1s. Glad you like it. Yeah, it's quite fun.
Hostile control point nearby.
And it's one of those ones where, like, when I first thought of it, I'm like, would that work to use an SMG on Heartbreaker? But, yeah, it works. And it's quite fun. All right, let's crack these caches. We are going to wrap up the stream here, so if anyone has any last-minute questions, comments, whatever, fire them in. Yeah, I can't thank you all enough for this stream. Like I said, we're back to the weekly streams now. This is the time slot, Tuesday mornings or whatever time it was in your part of the world. But I could not have asked for a better reception to this first one. The Eagle Bear is locked behind the Dark Hours raid, or you do have a very small chance to grab it from the Dark Zone, any of the 3 Dark Zones. But the best chance comes from the Dark Hours raid. Yeah, no, it's a bit confusing to differentiate between raids and incursions. Alright. Pretty solid MP7. It's actually not a bad... If I'm doing like a bighorn build, I'm going to keep that for now. We're going to hold on to that one. Yeah, raids are 8 people. Hey, Kimmy, thank you so much. I'm super glad that you had fun. Yeah, we're going to be doing these every week now. Tuesdays. The only thing that will prevent a Tuesday stream or like push it back potentially is if they were to drop like news right at 9. Then I'd probably make a video on it quick and then go live right after. But 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern, 6:30 CET is the time to expect moving forward for streams. And it'll be a lot of fun. That way we can just do it on days where there's new stuff, and if there's not, then we'll just, you know, do whatever. Dive into farming, to PvP. Whatever we want to do. Let's see. I wanted to... believe I got behind you on a rifle, so I should add that in. Yeah. Solid. Do expertise donation and get rid of the rest. Okay, folks. So yeah, that is going to do it for today. Once again, absolutely incredible support on this stream. Can't thank you all enough. We had pretty much 300 people hanging out for most of the time. Up to 317 likes. An insane number of donations. Again, I could never never ask for or expect those, but I guess people feel like being kind. So if that was you and you're still in here, thank you so much. If not, you know who you are. But yeah, just giving me your time is all I could ever ask for. So thank you all for being here. Like I said, every week we'll be back here live. So add it to your calendar. Tune in if you like. And we'll do a lot of fun stuff. Obviously, I got a lot more videos coming in the meantime. My reanimated one from today is live. If you haven't checked that out yet, go in there. Be sure to comment that you came from the stream. Working on a conflict build for the next few days. Working on Probably another Resolve build or two before next week. Then next week, a week from today, we get the Tinkering Vendor and the new apparel event with TU 20.1. So we got more stuff to look forward to there. And yeah, plenty of good stuff. So, Silvaku, Rules, Postman, Fluffy. By the way, Fluffy, thank you for becoming Heartlander. Keith, Oliver, Bass, Kendall, Kimmy, Cheryl, Jacob, Libertarian, Powerbomb, Malicide was in here earlier, Adventures, Fruity, Killer, Alpha, Blood Siren, Emron. Everybody that was in here, you know who you are. I love you and appreciate you very much, and I will see you very soon. Until then, Rogue Gold, out.